Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Welcome to the final cage of 2019.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good
another
one.
4-card cage.
Yeah, buddy. Everybody, I am Justin Kelly. This is the one and only Scott Moskowitz. We're going to be calling the action here in the live cage PLO madness. For those of you who aren't familiar with the cage, it's a really fun concept pioneered here by ACR, and essentially what it is it's a 2-day escalating cash game freeze-out, if you will.
My favorite part of the cage has been explaining to non-poker people what a hybrid cash game tournament is and watching their eyes glaze over like a corpse at about second number 10. Whatever you say, poker game.
Exactly.
But it is a really cool format.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to it, always good times. And we do have a schedule for all of the upcoming cages next year. We're also going to be giving away $5 satellite tickets away on Twitter here shortly. I'll have that
60, right? Yes, I was asking.
Put that in the chat. Speaking of which, I see a lot of regs in the chat already. Ghost, K2 Fighter, Mike Cash in the house, Slot Chick, hello. Love you all. Let's get down to the felt. You will notice we have Tom Canuli hanging with us. Good old 3-bet Tom doing 3-bet Tom things.
Hey, Slot Chick, we're excited to hang with you.
Yeah, buddy. So it looks like right off the bat here, we got Malik's going to be in the lead with his queens.
I think we need to turn us up a little bit.
You
over
do
the
it?
table audio.
Let's do it.
Our technical director, Ghost of M, helping out with the levels as always. Thanks, dude.
Perfect.
Thanks, Flow Junkie. You're one of the best chatters in the business.
Oh, Flow Junkie. I love it. What would, I don't think Poker Chat would be the same without people like Flow Junkie, Ghost, Slot Chick hanging out, Mike Cash.
Man, you know, for reasons that I don't really want to go into. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic at Twitch Poker, man.
Yeah, it feels
Feels
good.
good, man. Been too long.
All right, so taking a look, that is 3-bet Tom there, going around the table, those chips, guys. Reds are 5s, greens are 25s, blacks are hundos, and then those ever so sexy plaques. The blue ones are 500s, and the gold ones are 1K.
Whoa, a grill.
Oh, wow. I like it. We've had more girls showing up at the cage lately, actually, over the last several cages. We had, I know Vanessa Cade was here. We have her at the table right now. And then we have, let's see, I believe there was also 2 girls. I think it was Cammy and another girl in one of the previous cages as well. And they both went almost all the way to the end.
Nice, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Vanessa did a great job on the last one. Always nice to see the honeys getting in on the cage action.
88 Philly in the house. What's going on? Poker Guru. Hello. Welcome to the cage.
Oh yeah, man, I missed
I'm not gonna watch this.
a little hit of dopamine just now.
Yeah.
So Canuli's going to start out raising to 75. No surprise there with the good old Ace King Queen 9 single suited.
So what is it? Twitch?
Twitch/America's Cardroom.
So like that?
If she goes to the Twitch channel, just one minute for America's Cardroom, she'll get
You can hear the staff informing the players how to, I guess, tune in and watch the delayed stream.
Yeah, for sure. And also, you know, so they can shoot that, tweet that link out, send it to friends and family, all that good stuff.
Sure. All right, 6-4 queen. The best of it's still here for Malak with those kangs. Not much going on here for anybody. Canuli does have top. Never thrilled with just one pair in Omaha, of course. He does have a redraw, backdoor hearts, and some Broadway options, so I don't think he's going to be going anywhere to 1-bet here. But that turn card is not pretty really for either one of these guys. Melak no longer knows really where he's at, and Canuli takes that as an opportunity to fire. I don't know if he thinks queens and 6s are the best hand, or if he thinks his opponent doesn't really like the turn card. Either way, Canuli does what Canuli does. He bets.
Canuli does Canuli things, man.
Melak not going anywhere, though. He calls him. See a river card. Tough spot for Melak. He doesn't have anything.
I can hear that patented Scott Ball laugh in the background. That lets you know he's in the room.
I recognize it. And Canuli actually just outdraws Melak. Melak makes a good call on the turn. His kings are still good. He calls, but Canuli finds aces and queens, which are the winner. Looks like it's gone check here. Yeah, neither player is all that strong. bad river card for Melloc, and he's going to see that he got revered.
Yeah, especially on a paired board like that with the 6 there hitting the turn. There's so many random combos of hands you have that just have an extra 6 dangler hanging around.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Just some random side card that happens to be a 6.
Yeah, you're like, oh, and I made it.
Yeah, I have a king. Oh, 6.
Yeah, look at that.
Yes, we would all like to see that 88 Philly if Ryan DePaulo, the degenerate gambler, somehow, let's not go nuts and say he's going to shift the Venom. Maybe he'll just final table it. That'll be fun.
I mean, as long as he's wearing an even larger chain than he did at the World Series,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Absolutely. That was a really good vlog of Ryan's. The run to the top three, was it?
Yeah,
of
it was
the
so beastie.
monster stack?
Yeah, I was watching. I had him and I was also sweating him and Andrew Barber at that final table.
Yeah.
It was great. I was just like tuning in, and honestly, once they busted, I kind of turned it off.
I don't really care who ships it.
I didn't. Never too much bacon in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
How the levels there, Ghost? Are we sounding more balanced?
Oh, perfect. All right, I will get this tweet out right now. So I will get that link in the chat here for you guys shortly. And we're going to be giving away, like I said, 4 $55 Venom satellite tickets. They run every Sunday, at least 2 seats guaranteed to the Venom. Or I'm sorry, not to the Venom, to the Cage. And it's always a good time. You can see I got the Venom on my mind now. That's all I want to do is Venom, Venom, Venom.
Totally.
Speaking of which, the final day 1 of the Venom is tomorrow.
Coming up.
So if you guys want, hop online, fire some satellites, or use that Venom ticket you got wasting away in your account to, get your share of $6 million.
The table outage. All right. Well, nobody's really saying much. We'll pipe down if I hear some chatter. Nothing happening here on this board for either one of these players. Good lord, man. Is that ace high still? Oh, no, 6s. 6s for Anjaria, and it's now aces and 6s on the river. Gut shot on the turn, went nowhere, but aces up is going to be good. Monroy does have aces up as well. Okay, aces and deuces. Unlucky river card. Especially because it's gone check on both streets. So Monroy is, forgive me if I'm butchering that pronunciation,
A6.
is going to have to think aces and deuces are good here plenty of the time. Yeah, there you go. Bet call, and Monroy is going to see that that ace of diamonds was not a good turn, not a good river card. Monroy doesn't even have to be bluffing with that bet. It could be a bluff because both streets went check. It could be a value bet with worse. 10-7, 10-6, 7-6, worst 2 pairs. In any case, not a huge pot. We're all just feeling each other out at this point.
Yeah, it's something like this where you kind of want to be a little bit in survival mode. You don't necessarily want to be playing overly large pots in the first blind level of this 2-day. I mean, there's just no reason to. Pot control is very important.
100%, and that of course applies to pure tournament as opposed to a hybrid format like this. We just don't need to be getting stacks in when you have 100 big blinds.
Yeah.
What? Bacon is wondering if the grill at the table is gonna flash a smile. I have heard a fair amount of girls going like, it drives me crazy when guys tell me to smile. Apparently this happens to grills a lot, and they're not a huge fan of it.
And they also love being called grills.
Yeah. Hey, grill, can you smile for us?
Oh man, that would be so tilting for me. It's just like, oh man. Wow, all the queens are busy in these couple hands here.
Man, that is just a bunch of garbage out there. Not a single one of these guys has anything good. Even Anjaria's hand is okay. Queen, queen, jack. 6 is a total brick.
I mean, I'm trying it.
Yeah, apparently people tell Ghost of M to smile all the time too, and he hates it.
It's hilarious. All right, Ghost of M, I have shot the link to my Twitter giveaway over there, guys, at FatTrain on Twitter. Ghost, I shot you that link there in a DM on Twitter as well if you want to put that in the chat as a giveaway command. Yeah, $4 $55 satellite tickets to win your way to the next The Cage. And those upcoming events, by the way, guys, next couple cages, right here. Oh, right over the flop. There they are. There you go. January, March, May, August, October, and December there in next year.
I'm not sure if 88 Philly knows how loaded his question is. Do you guys stream outside of ACR? Well,
Oh, man. Yeah, kind of.
a little bit.
Yeah, I stream on the Thirst Lounge, and sometimes we did other poker shows, too.
Yeah, every now and then. What up, True Diva? Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for taking time out of your busy tour schedule to come hang with some plebes.
And the 10 of hearts hits the turn here. Best of it still for Grum and Kova.
Thank you. You're the man. You're the man. My man. Whoa. Airplane.
I don't know what do you do here. Yeah, Grumman Kova doesn't like it. You know, she just has a garbage 2-pair and no redraw. And with a straight already available, she doesn't want to draw to a crappy full house.
Yeah,
so she just leaves it.
Bottom 2 with a 3-card straight on board already.
she
Like,
just
what,
gets away.
what river do you ever want to see?
Yeah, a 9 or 3, exactly. And even then,
It's-
you're not that happy. You don't.
Yeah.
You have like 5th nut boat, you know. So she just folds. She was the favorite
good?
there, but
Or the soup?
hard to imagine that your opponent is betting with worse. That was a weird spot where that was what's happening, but fold makes total sense.
And the giveaway has officially been posted in the chat. Once again, Ghost of M, MVP for life. We love you, brother.
Each individual one right now.
Man, you know, with the lucky on her shirt and the clover on her hat, you know, she better hope she doesn't get like 2 outed at some point
How
here.
can you lose? I went on eBay to buy a horseshoe before I rolled out here. It seemed to work well at the blackjack table last night. So.
Too bad you paid like $5,000 for the horseshoe, though.
Irrelevant.
It's going to be a while before you catch up, you know?
Completely irrelevant. It's worth it. Poker Chef Jeff, you are very welcome. We'd like to hook you guys up. There will also be a free roll tournament going on today on ACR as well. So if you guys haven't signed up for an account yet, make sure you do so. If you guys already have one, get ready. We're going to be giving away the password very shortly. Once we do that, of course, Ghost will update it in the chat as well. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. It's Queen High board here with a couple of clubs out there. We do have a healthy flush draw for Kanuli. Meanwhile, we have just a pair for Melek. And that is going to seal up this hand for Kanuli, giving him the check mark. His flush is only 9 high, but unless this pot were to get way out of control, he never finds a fold here. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, human beings wouldn't be that happy with this flush, but Tom Canuli, it would go to the end of the earth and back with the old 9-8 of clubs here, and as it stands, his opponent doesn't have any.
Tom Canuli has done way bigger pots with way less.
Right,
hands,
exactly.
so-
I mean, Melak is almost lucky he doesn't have ace of clubs, 10-9-2,
Yeah.
because then he might be tempted to, you know, make a
little
play at it with the nut
blocker
blocker.
bet, yeah.
But against Tom Canuli, it would be suicidal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't try to bluff guys like Tom Canuli. It very rarely works in your favor.
Yeah. Don't bluff people who don't like to fold.
It's true.
Break out your steno pads and write that down.
And it looks like in seat 6 there we got a little rep on that nice new Cades jersey there.
He
Which is
charged me
always
30
fun.
Annie on the
So
other
when you
table.
guys come out here, interesting talking about the Annies. But when you guys come out here, what's included in the package is
Well, I
the
gotta
jersey
do
that he's
25
wearing
for
there,
one round at least.
swag bag that comes with cool things like
$5.
battery chargers and headphones. They give you an envelope literally labeled spending cash for $1,000.
Yeah.
And $800 for airfare, hotel accommodations, transportation, the whole 9 yard, not to mention a little tiny small buy-in of $5,250 into this event.
Is that all?
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's a little less than Train paid for the horseshoe on eBay,
Again,
but
worth
still
it.
a hefty sum.
Still worth it.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I wanted to take that $1,000 home and add it to my cash roll for, you know, my home improvement stuff, my poker playing, but it's labeled spending, so I had to spend it.
You got to do it. Verbal's binding, guys, just like in poker.
That's right. Live forever, die trying, wearing your Cage Live shirt. Right on, dude. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. I saw that, by the way, Flow Junkie. That's a very meta. Is Hop Grenade a beer, a brand, a myth, or a man?
All of the above.
Funny guy.
So what's going on here? Yeah, of course it comes down to Battle of the Blind. So Canuli's gonna raise because Canuli. You can't see Anjaria's hand, but Canuli with just a deuce on this board here, and now 9 on the turn. Can't feel too amazing about it. Does also not have position.
Canuli doesn't like to fold, but he likes to fold more than he likes his hand at this
Yeah.
time. My suspicion is.
He also
See ya.
doesn't like to burn money either. So
Yeah.
we're
Well,
just not I mean, sometimes we'll light it on fire just for fun, just to watch it burn.
money has a very distinct smell when it burns.
Oh, God.
And I hear Tom Canuli is a huge fan of the olfactory money burning sensation.
Yeah, but burning poker chips and plaques, it's probably
Yeah,
hazardous to your
that's
health.
less. Yeah,
I
the
wouldn't
plastic
breathe
is.
that in.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't done so yet, click America's Cardroom up top. Click that little green heart. Keep it happy. Keep it fun. We keep it free, fun, and fresh for you here. Every other month, this cage event happens. And every Sunday, you can have your chance to get out here to the cage for just $55.
Yeah, this is real poker. Some 4-card poker. Screw that 2-card nonsense. I mean, of course, until the end of January, and then
we're all back to the
yeah,
2-card.
that's right.
Now, it's funny. I mean, you play enough. If you really get into Omaha and you play enough of it, it's tough to go back to 2
Oh,
cards.
my
And the
God,
people
no
who complain
kidding.
about how 2-card game is boring are the people who just go back and crush it anyways. But they're like, I hate it. But
hate
I'm
it.
just going to win, but I still hate it.
Totally. Why don't you just tell me 1 card?
All right, so Canuli's going to pop it up to 70 here from the button with Queen High, a couple of clubs in his hand.
What's crazy too is if you think back to previous generations of popular poker games, at one point the game, like Hold'em is the game now, the game was 5-card stud.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is essentially you're being dealt 1 card. You have 1 down card. Wow, what a different time.
Just give me 5 cards and pray. There you go. And it looks like it's going to go check a bet here by Canuli. And Malik looking over to Canuli, not a believer. Canuli could be betting this with 4 Yogurtland rewards cards.
That's of course the 714th time I've heard that joke, and I just like it every time I hear it. I don't know what to tell you.
It's true. And it looks like the Rays got it done and Canuli found the fold.
Those are words that you will not hear strung together very often.
Canuli finds the fold.
That's right.
Very true.
Afternoon, table 9, seat 9. Good to see you, Holmes.
You want something spicy or no? Not right now.
Lights used to be powered by whale oil.
It's
Things
just whatever
change. Yes,
amount. I can
indeed, they
take a lot
do.
of
Flow
spice, I just
junkie.
don't want it.
It's a
Yeah, no,
wise
it's,
man.
it's mild. Sweating. No, not like that
All the
at all.
shortage on whale oil out there. We had,
Hey,
we had
you
to
know,
change.
that's right. Guano was the thing at one
Oh
point.
my god, that's it.
Ice blocks, pre-refrigeration.
dodge it.
What a
You know,
world we live
everybody
in.
only knows guano from Ace Ventura.
That is so
Okay?
true.
Let's
Yes.
just call it what it is.
Even though, literally, in previous generations, it was the thing. You used to harvest guano off of those islands that were piled high with bird poop.
Definitely before my time.
Yeah, well, read a book, Trey.
So?
Damn.
You're Italian? It's not like
Yeah,
real.
it's a thing.
No, it's good down there. I'm telling you. To be honest with you. I like their food down there. I don't know if you eat seafood at all.
Oh, the seafood.
Now that's all I'm going to hear in my head is freaking Jim Carrey saying that word.
Y Quincy Ocho. Let me guess. White devil.
I know it's good.
Okay.
They got good.
Bumblebee tuna?
Fried fish, I like.
Bumblebee tuna. All right, and Jaria's gonna pop it up to 60 here. Good old Ace, Queen, Jack Deuce with the nut diamond draw. We'll see.
There are companies that still harvest. What is that right, Ghost? For what? Fertilizer? What is the purpose? Yes, fertilizer. Makes sense.
Okie Rain, my man in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. I hope all's well.
So a button race here from Anjari. Where are you?
And she just flops the joint.
Wow. But Jari has that bottom set on the flop. Only 21% here, and not a good set. And those 3 straight cards on the flop are like very, if it's like 2, 3, 6, you're not as frightened.
Yeah, it's so coordinated.
Yeah.
It's so coordinated there, right? And especially like you said, in that medium upper range, everybody's going to be having hands like Jack Queen here.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's actually Sherry's going to take the lead here. And this is a spot where if I'm on Jaria in position, I am not flatting, never ever, because then what do you do? Now the Queen of Hearts comes, what are we doing on the river? I mean, he still has the best hand.
And this is one of those things with Anjaria, right? So I was worried about that hand for somebody else. You already have the Jack Queen, but you also have the Ace, which is very likely, and now somebody one-ups you with a better nut straight now.
100%. Yeah, I would, especially in position. Like, my opponent has done me an amazing favor by betting at me on the turn.
Yeah.
Because now I can just pot it. I pot it with the nuts.
Yeah.
It's such a good spot for you. So I'm a little confounded by the flat call. I suspect it's just going to go check now on the river. Both of them hate the river call.
Yeah.
I mean, Jari does have that Jack of Hearts, a relevant blocker here. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard to pull the trigger. I mean, isn't your opponent just going to look you up? Or, you only have the Jack of Hearts. What if your opponent just has an Ace High Flush,
And
King
see,
High
and
Flush?
Jari's in this weird spot because his hand kind of did improve. It went from a set to a straight.
Right.
So now he's got like the second nut straight, no flush.
Right, right.
know?
Which you're a few rungs down on the ladder there from where you want to be. This is an interesting value bet here from Anjaria. Is he turning his hand into a bluff? What is he bluffing with? He has no blockers. He just thinks the nut straight is good. He's right. What's worse is going to call him? Like, his opponent has that hand, a set.
Mm-hmm.
Is the set going to call?
Well, and he's thinking Jari too. Is Jari ever going to be on the flush draw, river the flush,
Check.
and then check it to him?
It's certainly if it's maybe
it's
a
small
mid flush, yeah.
But then again, I guess you can just fire through 25 and see where it gets you. And that's exactly. And he does get the
Wow,
value call. He does.
unreal, amazing value bet. Wow, if that's going to get called by worse, that is just gross.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Well done. That is not a value bet that I would
Fernando,
have.
right?
See, the hand would have played differently because I would have potted the turn. And then what? Would my opponent have called with a set? Probably not. The hand would have just been over. Aria gets more value than I would have in that spot.
Really? Even now, on 19, you have a set. There's also bottom set. It's such a coordinated board. Even if the board pairs, you're like, if it's not a 9.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I don't understand the bet on the turn. I think you're just so you're so likely to just get potted. And then what do you do with your set? Well, I guess. But then it's like, okay, so what are you saying then? You're saying check the set and what call if he bets? If set checks, straight is betting the turn. He's not going to check behind on the button. So what are we doing? Are we checking to fold? I guess. So maybe it is better to bet fold. I'm not really sure. That's an interesting hand. Interestingly played by both players. I'm surprised to see the set call off on the river.
That's definitely falls in the category of one of those just prove it calls. Prove it.
Yeah.
Okay, you proved it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, it's not hard to prove. I mean, there are just so many combos. Any 2 hearts beat you. Any, not any straight, but, better straights are possible. Obviously, that's what his opponent
Well,
has.
it's a totally different situation. Obviously,
because, like,
playing
the
Omaha
trips are
as opposed to
short.
that. Like you said earlier, you called it the 2-card nonsense.
In the
right?
2-card nonsense game, yeah, prove it.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yes.
But in this one, I mean, you're right. There's just so many random combos.
Yeah.
I have some friends here.
Right?
Apparently, they didn't take me out.
I need to make like a week trip. Go down to Hospital, beach.
Ooh, look at that sexy hand for Cannoli. Be careful with that. Look at that ace, ace, king, 10, double
a couple days
suited.
early, but it's
Sorry, before we get to
No,
the cards, I have a very important factoid to read from
yeah,
Crisco, who Googled it, and it turns out that the biggest users of bat guano in 2019, hair gel manufacturers. So you people that like your spiky hair, before you put on your tap-out shirt,
I was thinking,
just
like,
remember.
when we go to
Train, by
Rainforest,
the way, is sitting next to me.
and I was like, I don't want to be
Guilty.
wet,
Spiky
but
hair.
I'm going to
Back guano
Rainforest.
user. Good talk.
Train
What am I
spent this
thinking?
morning rubbing bat guano through his
Isn't there,
hair,
like, precipitation
slowly and
coming off the
sensuously.
Just like I spend most of my mornings. So Cannoli, again, with the monster hand, is going to pop it up. He's going to get called by 2 opponents here. 9-4-4 peels down. We can't see Anjaria's hand, but the best of it currently for Cannoli. But Jari can't be painfully hating this flop. Does have the 9, does also have queens.
Just show me what actually.
The only question here is, does Anharia have a random foursome?
If they're together, they're fine.
Yeah, but just like shuffle them in the
No problem.
A little tutorial on how to use the card readers from the crack staff here at PCR.
Jave flop in the house. Ooh, and look at that queen on the turn. That is just disco for Jari there. Queen's full.
Wow. God, what a pretty sight. Hey, girl.
Oh man, you just bink that and you're like, everybody be cool, nobody move. I got a monster.
You know, that board still doesn't look too dangerous for Cannoli. The aces still look to be good here plenty of the time. But he is too good for the game, and he just dumps him. See ya. And no value for Jari and his turned queens full. He is going to scoop a little RIU 420
And they
there,
also
but
make
man, he
those
would've
tour
liked to have
brochures
seen-
look like
Of course,
a
somebody
lot
come
sweeter
along
than
with
they
him.
actually
Like,
are.
man,
But when
why
you go on the
can't somebody
website
have
and you look
four?
like you see this repelling, you look like think like you're going off this 100-foot falls, and then it's like from here to here. It's like a 90-year-old lady that's doing it.
$200.
I
I need to investigate further before I go. I want to go to the real experience.
Right.
Guys, looks like a lot of you have already entered the giveaway. If you haven't yet, exclamation point giveaway in the chat. That will shoot you over to the Twitter link. It's real easy. Just follow myself, ACR, Pop Grenade, and retweet to be entered. We will be drawing winners throughout the day.
Well, they pick you up from like anywhere from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. if you like want to go to one of the
Okay.
great serious tours, because there's nothing really
Yeah.
right in here.
Right.
You can just take a bus and go on your own. Without
Brando Baggins in the house, my man. You can always tell it's Brando, not only from the name, but
That's
he's the only
local?
person who calls me Fat Twain with a W.
Hey, Brando, even
it
though you
close?
only said hi to Train, I'm going to be the bigger man and say hi to you, my friend.
Aww. Hi, bro.
Hop
Grenade.
grenade.
Nice. Approved. All right, looks like Malik's going to pop it up to 70 here with a mystery hand. And Monroy's going to come along. And that is going to pretty much price in our two remaining players.
Boy, that is a speculative hand for Gromenkova. The old 7/7 deuce, blocking your own flush, but she finds all the deuces
They
in the
find
deck.
the deuce.
Wow, that'll learn me. Jeez.
What's that?
Oh no, they did fold. Okay, they did fold. They were
Oh.
Action Tracker was catching up, man. I wanted to see the deuce 7 hold strong there.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I was surprised to see the call, especially out of the small blind. You know, out of position against the entire table with 7/7 club.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are we doing? What up, we?
And it looks like we have a fire of 120 by Malik, flatted by Monroy. Then Cannoli is going to pop it up to 4 hundo. What a rando super raise here. And it's going to work so far. 1 down, 1 to go.
Kimmers 66. What up?
Cannoli just completely exploiting this board and gets it done.
Yep. The irrelevant set of cards means nothing to old 4-bet Tom.
Brando Baggins chanting, "We want Priestley, don't we all?" Who doesn't? That's one sexy beast.
Yeah, of course, we'll be, as always, rotating out the cast of characters here on the feature table as the day goes on, and hopefully we'll see ourselves some Priest, perhaps some Scott Ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do rotate the feature table every 3 hours, guys. So we'll have 2 feature tables for you today and 2 fresh feature tables for you tomorrow.
Be interesting to see if Scott can top himself here. Of course, not on the feature table just yet, but he did set the earnings record for the cage in the last event.
He sure did, guys. And speaking of that, previous winners, look at that guy, Scott Ball. I mean, he couldn't even hit 60K. It's not like he's not even trying.
I know,
Look
man.
at that.
Wait till you see when Scott gives effort.
Runs 10K. I believe he was in for the double buy. Runs 10K up to just shy of 60,000. Not a bad day at the office. Guys, I'm going to get that free roll password for you right now, so just hold tight. All right, guys, and we are back. The official free roll password for today's $250 free roll. We have one today and one tomorrow. It's actually a $500 free roll tomorrow. Today's password is going to be Stormy, S-T-O-R-M-Y. That is the free roll password. Starts in just a few hours, so register for that and get ready to party. And it's going to be under private there on the tab on your ACR client. So Canuli's going to fire it to 250 here with queens and kind of, I guess you got a gut shot there along with an 8.
It was so weird. I was thinking, my wife was watching me right now watching this. Like a lot of talking. We've been talking about this for like a month. But remember when you watched the actually with golf?
You know what I miss? I miss the giant Canute plate of meat and rice. That's what I miss.
I was wondering why the stream felt so empty.
Only to be trumped the next day by the
veggie
abnormally large veggie platter.
Oh man, and you know what? Vanessa might have done great playing cards, but she might have done even better getting through that veggie plate.
She put work in that thing.
She did.
Can I have change, please? Can you give me some change? Just give me some singles.
Crisco said, "Put me in the venom. Put me back in the venom. Put both of us back in the venom."
Please.
All right, that board is getting about as coordinated as it can get. Monroig, though, with an overpair and nut flush draw. And finds the fold. It's a pretty big hand, but I mean, you know you're only drawing one card there.
You guys
and
gave
most
me.
likely your opponent already has a straight or set.
It's funny they denied money that you guys gave me.
What was wrong with it?
They gave me, like, they gave you the money for the room or whatever. Like, they give you money to spending money. So they give it to you in, like, a whatever. And yesterday I went to the casino to buy in with it, and it was, like, too tattered for them to take it. I'm like, this is
Are you
coming right
serious?
from you guys.
This is, okay. No, that story's 100% true. They are very picky about the bills
right.
of the
Wow.
U.S. currency. So at least at this casino, if there's any little rip or tear in the bill, they will not accept
Wow,
it.
it's like, dude, it's your money.
Well, and it's funny because it does come in the envelopes of spending cash that you get sometimes. I mean, not every bill is perfect. right?
Wow.
And so, yeah, I've definitely, like, I've given them 100. They're like, sorry. So I just trade. I give them a different 100. They're like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, okay, how about this 100? Okay, cool.
Wow.
I'll go spend them on Craigslist. It's fine.
Or eBay.
All right, so among Roy here is going to pop it up with Ace Queen 8-4 double suited.
It's up.
And we are going to get to the flop here. Griminkova with the mystery hand. Jack 6-6 peels down. That's a pretty big a whiff. Actually, I think we might have the axe dragger backing up. There we go. We do have the nut flush draw actually from our here on this flop.
Never thrown with that, of course, on a paired board.
No, not in Omaha. The deuce of pumpkins, as Scott would say, peels on the turn.
But
We get some information about Grominkova's hand here. If she decides to call, I would imagine she has at least a good jack.
And Queen Ball does not make the flush, but it does give Monroy top here.
Pretty thin. This is not really a hand you're going to be value betting into your opponent.
No, this is a hand you're just really hoping to get to showdown with.
Yep, exactly. So he does check, and we're going to see if Grominkova is going to go for a bet here. If she bets, what is she doing this with? Does she have just a random 6?
It's got to be a
6,
random
7, 8, 9,
It's
something
got
like
to
that?
be a random 6 ball all day. for
Yeah,
sure.
I would imagine that would make a lot of sense. She calls flop, she calls turn, now she's value betting river. She might have even filled up. Maybe she has like 6 deuce, I don't know, 6 jack. I don't know. Did she really flop the junk? Well, we're not gonna find out, I don't think.
Not indeed, but she played that like she definitely could have a 6 there. I mean, obviously, just like call,
Right.
call, and then
I
once
don't know
you
what she's
check,
doing that with.
once you slow down, she's gonna start fighting for value.
100%. And there's not really a busted draw to be bluffing with there. So We're just gonna give her credit for the flop trips. Call it a day.
Where are you from? Costa.
I'm from Jersey.
Is that where you live, in Jersey?
What about you?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Like just like maybe 30, 40 minutes from Toronto. Yeah, my whole life.
What? It was good.
How long have you known Mike for?
I've been playing with him online for.
Yeah, we loves plaques. And, there's real. I feel like there's mixed opinions on plaques.
Oh god, how can there be mixed opinion? They're amazing.
I like them too, but
they look amazing. They smell amazing. They're delicious. If you ever try to eat a plaque, they're delicious. They're really good.
I eat a lot and I get plaque. And I have to go to the dentist.
Well, dropping plaque, and it also makes you feel like you're in a James Bond movie. So
See, now that's what I like about it is I'm Le Chiffre, know, which is cool. But there are definitely some plaque attackers, man. They're not fans.
Well, I mean, plaques make you feel like you're playing high stakes even if you're not. This is obviously pretty high stakes, decently high stakes here, right? But, I mean, if I had plaques at like a 1-2 game and they were like a $100 plaque, I would still feel pretty boss right there.
Me too. So, button race here from Anharia with his low-high double suited. Jaffrey's going to defend his blind and flop a set of threes. Inside straight draw to the 10 as well. Looks like the flop's going to go check, check. Interesting check. No, that makes sense. Open check from... Wow, check, check again on the turn? I'm surprised to not see Jari lead the turn there for value. Set of threes? The check on the flop makes total sense, but then when his opponent checks behind, why not bet turn?
Lightning Poker joins us in the chat. We got the chance to play a little bit of cash with him last night. Had a good time. And he is also playing the cage today. I'm sure we'll see him on the feature table at some point.
The hand just goes check all the way down to the river.
I accidentally vegged this thing. Like, I didn't know how they give you the thing for free when you're in that race. So I opened up my applet. Like, I rarely play on ACR.
And I guess, like...
And it's like halfway through it. So I was just like click, 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 and then when I was like down to like 4 or 5 people, I'm like, I want to get third because I don't want to go. I want to get the 9K or whatever it was. I like got beat up that day. I'm like, yeah, I just need the 8K. And then I tried to bust. I literally was trying to bust. It was so hard to bust.
Everyone was trying.
That is hilarious.
I was like Ray's calling with like 4 high and then just like winning with 3-handed. And it's like, okay, at this point I don't know how to bust. And the other guy, there was another guy on the table with 3-handed who was like, I want to get third. I was like, so do I.
They're fighting for third place. But that is a prime example. We always say that there's a lot of players sitting out in those Sunday, weekly $55 cage satellites.
It was like 8 or 9K.
That's exactly what it was. He won a
like, just
ticket,
right into the
didn't
account
even
right
know,
away.
totally forgot, comes in halfway through the tournament, and just decides to go beast mode, and happens.
What do you mean the ticket?
Yeah.
Welcome to Costa Rica.
Yeah, right.
No, the cage is like whatever, maybe 3 or 4K more, but like I have the money in my account right away and I can blast it.
And I can blast it. I love it. I love this guy. I want to party with this guy.
I mean, if you have a good hour in the no rat hole, it's gonna definitely overtake this. Right?
Right, yeah. If you're playing that 1530 rat hole and you run good for an hour, you've eclipsed Scott Ball, who's 57K.
Yeah, and it's really cool. We were talking about the 1530 is really a sweet spot for the rat hole. For those of you who don't know, guys, the 7-day no rat hole, you can only buy them for 10 bigs. So you essentially can only buy them for $300, but you can run that up exponentially. And the average pot sizes in that 1530 are like $400, $500 pots, like on the regular.
Speaking of $500 pots, we are getting there as Margie decides to 3-bet from the button with a not terrific hand.
3-bet Tom, and he says, that's my move.
Yeah, he does flop the stones, though. That's a terrific flop for 7 Jack 9 Queen. When you decide to 3-bet from the button, you just flop the joint.
And
wow.
Tom also flops 2 pair, a straight draw as well, and backdoor clubs.
Yeah, man, action flop.
And that's how a lot of people like to approach handling somebody like Tom at the table. Essentially, if Tom is going to be raising and 3-betting all the time, sometimes you just got to click it back over him and 4-bet him.
And Tom is giving Margie another chance to click back over him because he leads out on the flop. He just leads right into Margie because Tom is putting Margie on something like Ace King Jack.
Of course. How can you don't have Jack Queen here? Why?
Right? How do you have Jack Queen?
You 3-bet me.
Right, and I have a Queen. So just a wonderful sight, and Margie is going to get KG and just call. This is again a spot where I would just pot it into Tom's face.
It's a good old pot face.
But not Margie.
Canuli not necessarily loving that turn there. I mean, if your opponent already didn't have a big piece of that straight, that turn isn't helping.
It is not, and it wasn't, club would have been cool to see. Of course, a 10 or an 8 would have been great. 6 of nothing. So Canuli now slows down in Margie. Mandatory value bet with the nut straight.
You still got the nuts right now, but you never know what that river's going to bring, especially in Omaha.
And Canuli's just going to check and fold. Big pot.
Yeah, you're gonna end with 2 tables.
Just short of $1,000.
Like
Heading Margie's way.
I would say what do we have? I would say like we'll finish with like 7. Probably a final table. Probably we'll finish with 6. 6 people.
Really?
And our current ship leader there, 5.7K.
Thank you.
Monroy down to 3.8K, but then again, it's so early. The blinds are only 10-20, and
you're a double up away from the chip.
Yeah, exactly. No big deal. Speaking of which, follow America's Cardroom on Twitter. We will be posting chip updates at every break, so you guys will know exactly how your favorite player is doing. You'll be able to see where everybody's at. We'll also tell you who has double buys, which is an extra 5K rebuy chip that can be used as an add-on or a rebuy. And we will tell you who has those and who has used them. If you have that chip and you get felted, you are required to use it. And the chips must be purchased in advance before the tournament starts.
It was just like vape. It was just like, I forget what they called it. It wasn't
Oh,
called vape.
okay. Thank you, Marquitos Aurelius. Monroy.
It came with a card that said you can smoke this anywhere you want. No one knew what it was, so I'd go to the casino and smoke it.
We just pronounce everything phonetically.
I would smoke it in a plane. I remember the stewardess going, "Oh, that's so cool!" It just had like a vapor. It wasn't like a heavy smoke, like a vape stew. But then obviously that stopped. Yeah. Well, they let you on the plane with it, but they say don't vape. But like, you can go to the bathroom. I just blow it into the napkin. That's the move. But I'm always scared of tripping the.
Yeah, of course, because then they're just going to make an emergency freaking landing in Tulsa. Sorry, we're going to have to divert the plane. Oh, God.
I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on the whole vapor in the plane bathroom.
That's like the one place you don't mess around, man.
And it's also like a federal crime, so like if they really want to make an example out of you, that's just a bad day.
You're going to get tackled and zip-tied. They're going to divert the plane, and you're going to end up all over the front page of every news outlet.
Well,
at least for 5 minutes.
Yeah, turning that front upside down, we are going to talk about this case 5 here on the flop for Monroy. Does flop set.
And some pens. So it's probably better than whatever it is on the street. If you want to get sorted on the break.
And that set is going to be good enough. Everyone else says opt out. And Monroy good. He's going to scoop that one.
What he does, but he just has no disregard for anything.
So we talked about some upcoming cages. We talked about some winners as well. The big winner being Scott Ball, topping the charts right now, looking to see if he can do it all over again. We're also going to take a look at this right here, guys. Look at that. Previous player counts for all of the cages we've done. Man, a lot of fun cages. Wow.
Since then, I didn't really smoke.
Memories. I remember looking at some of those cages and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a lot of players. And then they get down to like 9-handed, 8-handed, and like one guy has it all. I mean, I remember the first big cash out of like 50K when Troy did it, and it was epic. And now we're at 60K easy, and probably more in the upcoming cages for sure.
Do we have a player count for this one?
Yeah, I believe there's a 20 players in here, and I'm not sure how many double buys we have, but we'll get that info shortly. The PLO cages seem to be a little bit lighter than the Hold'em cages, but we do like to keep the cages overall small, like no more than maybe like 40 players at most, because Phil likes to go show everybody the office and really get a chance to like know the players and talk with the players 100%. And get feedback. Speaking of which, today at the office we had a chance to try out their new prototype software. Well, their software, same software, but their new prototype format, essentially where you gain tickets into step tournaments by just playing essentially tournaments. So if you double every 5K chips you have, they just take 5K chips off the table and you get a ticket.
Did he say five?
And it's insane. When they brought those up, they had them up for a few minutes before they wanted to work out some bugs. 4,000 players registered and earned several hundred tickets.
I love
within
that.
like an hour or two.
It eliminates the stupid part of those types of formats, which is like, okay, well, the format is perfect.
Yeah, and you grind forever. And
Right.
you know, another great point he brought up, he's like, dude, you can do it on mobile, and it's going to be a great like bathroom type game because you can't commit to a tournament. You're like, I'm going to spend 8 hours doing this, right? That you can hop in and hop out, kind of
Sure.
like the rat hole, and it will maintain your chip stack.
Yes.
So you can essentially just get in, grind out some hands, and call it a day. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly. It's the beauty of a cash game. You know, you can just kind of sit out, do what you want. Like you don't have to just commit.
It's great, yeah. It's almost like the same reason I like the rat hole. I can just hop in. I still have my same stack I had before, and it's good to go. So Canuli just flops top set, bets and wins.
Yeah,
Easy game.
he did 3-bet pre-flop, and Margie gave it some thought and decided he wanted to try to see a flop with Canuli, but like Train just said, he flops top set.
And the problem is Canuli is so all over the place with his range and just plays any, well, in this case, any 4 cards. And so when he actually makes a monster, has a monster hand, and makes an even more monster hand, man, he's dangerous. Because you're like, oh, he doesn't have anything. I'm going to call him super light. Oh my God, he's got a monster.
Yeah, how does he have top set? How does Canuli ever have top set?
The password for the free roll is Stormy, and no, Bryce, it's not Stormy Daniels, although she might be playing in the free roll as well. You never know.
Stormy Daniels is not free.
Definitely
front of this
not.
thing.
Market price.
Look at that face. Look at that face. That does not look like
I just noticed they got a little cage here.
Joey, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the chat.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Ghost? Please. She's a fine, upstanding...
Oh, I was going to say, she doesn't sound like she's upstanding very much. She sounds like she's laying down all the time. All right, and it looks like this is going to get limped all the way through. 888 on the flop, and we're just going to flop quads for Jaree.
Oh my God.
It's an easy game when you just flop quads, guys.
What a flop. But unfortunately for him, none of his opponents have king or ace, which is what you'd be looking
you
for
get
here.
0 action
Yeah.
here.
Unless Monroy has something cool under there. Seems hard, man.
That's what Stormy Daniels. Sorry, again.
Goes check around on both streets. Jaree is doing his damnedest to let his opponents catch up. Please? Did someone just river 9s full? Please. And he bets
And you have your own blocker because you have the 9 too. you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And he actually he sneezes on the pot with a $30 bet, and everyone just lights their cards on the pot. No value for poor Jaree.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. Everybody says, I want a royal, oh, I want quads, I want this. I always want a hand that gets me paid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, 888 on that flop, like, nobody's paying you.
Unless someone has ace, and even then they're going to be leery.
They're just
They're
gonna
not
be
going to
like,
stack
they're gonna
up.
be check call crying.
100%.
You know, they're not gonna
He
bet
might
any
have
money.
Because here's the thing, right? Like, let's assume somebody has ace there. All right, prime spot to get some value. Well, okay, you're going to get certainly a street. But even by the time the second street comes around, they're going to be crying calling by that point. And if you even get that far and you get to the third one, they're really... See, because the thing is they're going to know you can't be making that third bet if you don't have the 8. Because if you don't have it and you're making that third bet, don't I have it? I just called you twice.
We have ways to make you talk. I'm sorry. I like to get maximum value of my
Looks like Monroy is going to throw in a little raise from the hijack. Still having some mystery hand issues here. Going to get a couple of calls here from the blinds. Not a bad looking hand for Anaria, although that 7 sucks.
Wow, talk about a coordinated flop, guys. King, Jack 9, all diamonds. Show me the straight flush. Top 2 for Anharia here, but can you love it?
Nope.
Nope. No, you can't.
Yeah, weird spot to flop top 2, you know. Obviously, the straight is already available. The flush, of course, already available. And you are in pretty bad shape against both of those hands. And you're up against 8 cards. It's actually Margie who bets from the small blind into the Razor who folds, and now onto the other blind defender who has top 2. And what do we do with top 2?
Cry.
Cry call. See one more street.
And pray for a king or jack.
King jack, king jack, king jack, king jack.
Not that 9.
Yeah, he's like board pair, and it does, but it's the wrong one.
Whoops.
Margie though if Margie was betting with a straight or a flush, which seems reasonable, he's not going to like that turn card very much. So it goes check, check. So at this point, Margie just has to have 10 queen or diamonds here. That hand would, of course, make perfect sense. Bets the made hand, doesn't like the board pair. And Anaria is going to take advantage of that. This is a bluff. He's turning his hand into a bluff. Will Margie ever fold a straight or a flush right now?
Betting a pretty healthy chunk of pot.
How much is in the middle?
425 there.
You know, if Margie only has, because the bet is big, you know, it's not an easy, like, 1/4 pot bet, I don't know, I have a straight call.
Yeah.
In this case, he's facing a big bet, and if he has a straight or a flush, he only beats a bluff.
And he's not liking it. I think he might have a little baby flush or something.
He has to. That's got to be what he's got. He only beats a bluff.
Which this case it pretty much is.
Like let's say Margie even had like the nut flush here, like ace 3 of diamonds. You know, would his opponent be value betting a worse flush? So you're still in a spot where you only beat a bluff. Really?
Wow. He's got to obviously have the queen 10 or baby diamonds. Period.
Yeah, I think it's got to be diamonds. I mean, I don't even think queen 10 would necessarily think this long. You know, you beat nothing with queen 10.
Respect the stare down. Oh, he's really trying to talk himself into it, but he does not like it at all.
How does that even happen?
Looks like he's might be close to hitting the epic call button.
Hey, Joe. Is that done with typical Okay, she's just asking me. She said,
Oh, and he was not able to find the button. He was not able to find the button. He does make the lay down.
And of course, we don't know what he laid down, but let's assume he had something like 6-5 of diamonds or somewhere in baby flush makes the most sense to me. And we're not going to get to see it though. Anaria executes a great bluff. Great bluff. Turns his double blockers into I have a full house bet. And it works. Well done. And you know, the key, of course, as you mentioned when he made the bet, was the sizing.
Yeah. Anything less than that, I think your opponent easily
Epic
finds
call,
a call.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, you know, of course, at a certain point, if he bets $40, okay, yes, easily calls. $140, I mean, I don't know if it's easy, but yeah, epic call. Like, it starts getting less and less easy as you size up.
And I feel like, as your opponent, like, they didn't just pot it. I feel like it was a methodical bet that was relatively close to pot,
Right.
which kind of screams like, I want a call. I didn't just
100%.
want to yell pot and scare you away.
You're 100% right.
the cage could be a giant failure, and it's still going to be here because I get out of the house.
Wow. 21 players and 9 double buys.
Oh, wow.
9 double buys. That puts us at a 30-player equivalent prize pool. That is sick.
That is sick. It's a pretty quiet table that we're both Train and I are listening to. These guys, they're not really saying much. I hear a lot of battling going on, but it's coming from the other table.
Yeah.
I hear Scott yelling across the room.
It's Scott and Phil Nagy going at it.
Is that
at
it?
the table.
Yeah. Is Phil playing?
The live stream with people having their phones at the table after all that shit that's happened with the Postle thing.
I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Like, I'm surprised that it's even a default to do it.
Can someone fill me in? What's this guy
Yeah,
talking
but
about?
even then, you shouldn't have your phone at the table.
Guys, everybody in the chat, that's called sarcasm. We don't really need to be filled in.
Kappa.
20 minutes, like, you could just, oh, you left me. But that's not fair for me. In my theory, in my mind.
Monroy is still struggling mightily with the card reader, another mystery hand. The hands that we do see
The old days, like, I was
are relevant. Jerry has top 2.
2000.
And the 3 of pumpkins on the turn. That's a great turn card when you've got ace,
They
king,
would wait
9
till the
deuce.
stream's over, and then they do the
You
commentary
are not
over it,
behind
and
very
then
many
all the
hands here.
hands you had.
Your opponent pretty
And
much
they would
has to
only
have
be
a
able
set to
do the
beat you.
showdown hands because they didn't have the RFP cards. There used to be the whole card camera. I don't know when that came.
It's always kind of weird to feel so good about top 2 in a game like Omaha, but when it's just a raggedy like board,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
this is great.
Exactly.
Top 2's great.
You literally, your opponent not
showed
basically needs a set to beat you. Literally does. There are some draws that have some equity against you, but you are
And the sick part
very
is,
often in good shape.
you're obviously blocking set of kings, set of nines.
Sure.
So if the board does essentially pair, most likely you're looking okay too.
100%. That's right, exactly. And not only that, even if the board doesn't pair, the fact that you're blocking the other 2 sets means that if your opponent does have a set, it's almost certainly bottom set,
Yeah.
which no one's ever really that thrilled with. Oh, good luck up, poker chef Jeff. Ship it, dude.
Yeah, Poker Chef Jeff grinding it right now. Final table of the 2K. Run good, officially sent.
What and same thing. Romankova's having some issues too. Is she holding her cards in the air? What is the deal?
I think when you do the 4 cards with the Omaha, you kind of have to you can't just stack them perfect. I think you kind of have to spread them around a little bit. I'm not sure. I know that there was a reader issue, so they might be working on that towards the break. Maybe it was hers. But with the mystery hand, she's going to come in for the raise. We're going to get looked up by Canuli and Margie. Over to Monroy,
Did you order food
can't
yet?
fold at this point, basically priced in.
Did you order food yet? Apparently the soup here is really good.
I'm gonna order from that one place, but
Okay.
2-5-6 peels down, a couple of clubs on board. Not a bad flop for Canuli here.
Maybe.
Interestingly enough, he does
I'll
have the
look.
6 along with Margie. Margie with the overpair, Canuli with the nut
I just want
flush
to
draw.
hit my vape. But the guys are doing it on the table, but I just want to. You don't see nothing? It's not. It doesn't make any.
And Gromkova with the mystery hand
Silently.
did raise it pre. Going to continue
Silent,
firing
like,
300 now.
Discreetly.
Over to Tom, who's going to pop it up. That sexy blue plaque is 500. He's going to make it look like 1,000.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, you were like 18 fried rice? No, I'm fine. Hey, Scotty, you sure 4 cheesecakes?
And Gromkova just with the rip.
Wow.
Wow, that's got wow. What do we have here? We're even. It's got to have.
3-4.
It's got to have 3-4.
3-4.
Right? But then again, she raised pre to 70. Like, what are we raising with where we have 3-4? Unless it's like
Ace, 3-4, double suited.
it's got to be right.
And Canuli's gonna go along with it. Canuli
Guys,
says,
action.
And is there a universe where he doesn't make a flush? Or wait a minute. So Gromkova looks like she has king, 9-7 with clubs. The clubs are so she's blocking Canuli's clubs. Canuli
got
needs
king.
an ace or a club, and there's no universe where Canuli doesn't just run her down here.
Yeah, and guys, at this PLO cage, it is mandatory run it twice when 2 players are on.
All right, let's keep it low. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna actively root against Canuli because he runs too good. Of course, he runs too good. He finds it on the first board, and the 4 means nothing. So Canuli's gonna look for a scoop here. Can he do it? Yes, he can.
my God,
He
wow.
runs. See what I mean? You just put the money in and you win. That's how you're good
So
at poker.
That's his appetizer.
You explain to me what skill is involved there. He just puts the money in and wins.
Yeah, it must be nice. See, I remember that horseshoe I bought? I let Tom borrow it. But I let him borrow it like 10 years ago.
You guys have a class?
He just runs her down. She's blocking 2 of his clubs, and he just finds a flush twice. God. GG. Miss Gromkova.
I'd like to go bargain
And we
hunting
have our
with
first
them.
casualty already. If the cage keeps up like this, we're going to be down
Bargain hunting.
Yeah. And her,
bargain hunting.
I like her ship there a lot. She just has the naked overpair. Not naked. I'm sorry. No, she has the overpair with the second flush draw. But she just is like, Tom, like, can you really beat kings
He's
and
part
the
of
king
like
high flush draw?
when the old crew
And
kind
he
of
couldn't.
some
Yeah,
stage
and I
he's
wonder if
there,
it's
now
different
he's
too
been
being
here for
against
like
Tom. Like against another player, maybe a more snug player, she could
actually
justify
quite
them having
entertaining.
probably maybe an ace-high flush draw, something like that. But against Tom, you're just like, no, I'm going to go.
Right, and you know what? Even if he has the ace high flush draw, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
God. Well. And Tom just got a whole bunch of chips. Look out, world.
right?
No, I had $5 for it. It wasn't personal, right? It wasn't personal. We're not seeing our offices, and we had our staff go there and we're supposed to
Running scared now.
Very 50.
So button raise, and 3-bet Tom is going to 3-bet everybody because now he's got chips and he likes 3-betting anyway, and it's actually just going to work. His hand is complete garbage, but his opponents don't want to mess with him, I guess, and so they just fold, and he's going to scoop that one without even seeing a flop.
First time in this event. You?
First time.
Qualify, you just buy in?
I bought in, but I tried. I kept getting the free rolls. I came close a couple times.
Yeah, I just opened up one, whatever, Saturday or Sunday and noticed I was like halfway through this tournament. I was like, what is
It
this?
automatically registers, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
I didn't know what was going on.
In the rake race, whatever it is, you get a bunch of those buy-ins when you just hit your rake requirements.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely cool. I was telling
And now
Thomas
he just
I was
finds
trying to
himself
get
here in
third.
Costa Rica.
There you go.
I couldn't boss.
Trying to get the cash.
Two guys were trying to get third just to get the cash.
you
I
did
had like
I
got
had
killed
it
that
actually
day.
in the 100K Saturday in the summer. I didn't want the seat.
Oh, 100K for buy-in?
Or the Saturday for the 100K.
Oh, okay.
And fourth was like 99, and I was like,
I'll take the fourth.
Uh-oh, Newly's got a big
So you
boy.
can trade in the ticket, no?
Aces.
no, you can't.
No.
Fourth was 99. I'm gonna pot it 200.
He is going to pot it.
I didn't. This is just a call.
80.
Yeah.
80's the bet, baby.
I don't know how to play that. Some poker wizards
Zarya
got to
is
come
gonna
up with a
poke the
theorem
luck
on
box
how to
here.
bust like
Yeah,
just so you get the cash.
And he is drawn
Advanced-
pretty thin.
advanced
Unfortunately for
101.
him, he does flop top with backdoor hearts, but Canuli hasn't. The same ace king, but of course Canuli playing his aces. Got a pretty good lead here. Monroy does have an inside straight draw. Oh my goodness! Wow. Anaria gets very, very fortunate to find another king here, and now they have the same hand. 3 kings with the ace. Of course, Canuli is going to think that's the nut turn card for him. It is. I mean, it is. But, you know, he has 2 aces and a king. You know, it's really hard for your opponent to also have ace-king here. Oh, man, and so it goes check around. Yeah, because Canuli just figures his opponents can't call with worse. I'm surprised to see Anaria check behind when Canuli checks to him, even though Anaria's got Monroy to act behind him on the button. When I'm still surprised to. I mean, I keep saying that, but he's done that a bunch of times, so maybe that's just, you know, he's playing different than I expect him to, obviously. Right? So it just goes check, check, check. And then on the river, Canuli makes a value bet. And of course, it's going to get called, and they are going to see that they chop it up.
I like your ace king better than mine, though.
What?
I like your ace king better than mine.
Ace King's pretty sweet there.
Get out of here, Ton.
But you
had
actually had
ace
the better
king.
one because you had more live than ace.
Yeah, you were locked up on the.
Kind of locked up with just ace king. Do you have the ace of spade? Still doesn't matter.
You did have the ace of spade? Yeah, it won't matter on a pair board much. Right? Try potting and see if I call well. I don't know.
I love hearing this table talk.
I got the no fold button on.
Yeah, you know, boy.
I missed that action there. What happened? I don't know. You guys got it on the flop.
Yeah.
You just flatted her raise. She bet you raised. Then she got it in.
Yeah,
On the 2, 4, 6 or something.
6-5-2.
It was like
She
4
bet.
raise.
He
He
potted. She just put it in.
You didn't love to call though.
I mean, once I waited 1,000, it was only 2 more.
Oh, okay.
I got enough flush draw.
Yeah,
She didn't
yeah.
use her chip, did she?
No, she didn't have it.
She didn't have one. I thought she was at when I thought I seen one earlier.
No, you have to use it if you buy it.
If
you have
to
You have to use it if you buy it.
No, I thought you said
Only if you boss.
Only if you boss.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's what I meant.
No.
Oh, if you
You just
bought
added
If
it
you
on
bust
from the
it,
beginning,
you can't
right?
just take it off
You
the
just put
table.
it all in
Oh,
your
I
stack
didn't
at
know
the start.
And you can't buy another one. I don't think you can.
No, no.
Yeah, they told me that after.
No, but I don't
this
think you
morning.
could even buy it. Period. Like after.
After like the initial.
I don't know if.
Yeah, I don't think you can, but I thought I could.
I feel
But I
like
came
they
late,
might
so-
let you. I don't know.
Well, if you guys need to put more on, if you ever make that chip or not?
No, I didn't.
Space
I didn't-
Force,
I came
she
down here at
had
1:15.
kings, a big overpair,
Oh.
and the second nut flush
didn't
draw.
see that rules.
Canuli had ace high flush
Yeah,
draw
he-
and just
I
ran her
can't
buy a
down.
rebuy
They ran
chip.
it twice, and he made a flush on both
Is he
boards.
still allowed to buy the rebuy chip?
Sure it is.
Okay. Yeah, I actually want to know that.
I feel like they wanted to turn that down.
I fold.
Cool. Race.
Phil, you can still buy the rebuy chip at this point or not?
No, you have to buy it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This guy came late. He said at 1 o'clock he was like, I couldn't buy it. I don't know. Whatever.
C-Manx, no, not for this one.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you gotta buy it in the beginning.
Oh, you do have to buy it in the beginning?
Yeah.
Wildcat.
Saturday
The chick that used to babysit for us, she
Yeah,
her
I'm
ex-boyfriend,
okay with it.
he once he once was an extra in a movie, and the director that
I'm like, if I do it, if I'm out, like I'm gonna just. I'm just today and tomorrow is like the busiest day. This is my work days.
it's only a quarter.
Oh. It's paying 30. I was paying 25.
No, it's 25 because
oh my God, is that right, Poker Chef
Oh,
Jeff?
okay,
Holy
yeah.
moly!
get it.
Top boat to quad
Since they made
sevens.
this
Yeah,
ante
dude.
business like a couple
Oh,
years
man.
ago, like anytime
Sorry
I
to
played,
hear
I've
that.
always
That
got screwed
sucks.
up because I'm just traditional ante. Everybody ante.
What a stupid game.
It's better.
Poo Dog Melissa coming to the next cage. Nice. I don't think I have met Melissa yet. Have I? She hasn't been one. Have you? No, she's not.
I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah, I know who she is for sure. It'd be fun to see her play live.
And Anharia here is going to make it 60 to go from the button. Oh, and Margie just looks at the dealer and says, pot.
Hey, you did love me on screen. You did. You're right. It was embarrassing. I tried to forget about that moment. Now you're making me live it again.
There's going to be two bills, and it looks like Jaree with the mystery hand's going to make the call. And Anharia's going to call as well. And it looks like he just flopped a gut shot along with the eights for Anharia against a couple of mystery hands.
He's got a bad flush draw too.
Yeah, and Margie here was the original aggressor who potted it, so he's not slowing down at all. He's going to go 600 here into 630.
This screams high hearts to me.
Yeah, it screams high hearts with an overpair, right? So some
Yes.
sort of ace whatever suited, plus
Sure.
maybe aces.
For sure. King, Jack, Queen with hearts, something like that.
And we did get a correction, guys. We actually have 10 double buys. There is actually a gentleman here you guys may recognize from Storage Wars, and he was not aware that you had to buy that in advance in the beginning, so they asked all the players, and they said, yeah, no problem. More money in the prize pool, man.
Hell
Why
yeah.
not? Yeah.
Anaria is going for more money in this pot, but he gets a total banana on the turn. He did have some draws here. He still does, but Man, he was hoping to hit it straight away because it certainly doesn't look like Margie is going to slow down here. He
No,
is going to stay on the gas.
Yeah, pot's at 1.8, now goes 14. With the stare down. The stare down's free, actually. You don't have to pay $1,400.
Really? Because I was charged last night.
Sorry. That was an error, and we will refund your money.
You don't seem sorry at all, to say. That rang hollow.
Waspaloy in the house. Waspaloy actually played in the last cage. He won his cage package out here on a previous stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we gave away. Yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
Waspaloy played in the last cage. Which is
Awesome.
Hope that I don't have it. Hit the heart at the river. Hope I don't have it, and then if I do, then hit the heart. I got the info on this.
There you go.
Oh, good. I got one more in me.
Of course.
And I know I have to use it now, so I'm like, all right. Why did you say anything?
Cannoli with already heaps of chips. No surprise there.
I want to win a cage package week, get my passport and head on up. Yeah, I gave this public service announcement last time, and I'll do so again for anybody looking to win their way out here, which, of course, a bunch of the people here playing today have done. Let's do this PSA style. Hi, this is Scott from America's Cardroom. You know, we kid around a lot on stream, but passport expiration dates are no laughing matter. Really,
well.
though,
That was
yeah,
good.
thank you
That
very
was
much.
good. All
Yeah,
right.
really, you got to have 60 days from the expiration date of your passport to the end of your trip date. They will not let you on the airplane. So if you're like, well, my passport expires next month, but I'm taking the trip this week. No, you are not. Got to have 60 days. So if you're within, say, 6 months of your expiration, you got to renew your passport.
Or you could be like me and wake up to check in for your flight and realize your passport expired last week.
Damn it!
That's always fun. And then you
Did that really happen?
Yep.
Oh,
and then
boy.
you drive a couple hours to San Francisco and you wait in line all day. And
Oh,
you cross your
no.
fingers and you hope and pray.
Oh man!
I literally got it within a few hours and
Getting
it's
in the
still
all-in,
warm.
so you
off
run
the
it
press.
twice.
Wow, really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, expedited.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
forget
You had to pay the
forgot
expedited.
there.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Why didn't you?
What did I hear something about like if
You
it's
actually had to pay a fee?
heads up or two-way or three?
Yeah, it's always on.
Always.
As long as it's all in.
Okay. I was a little confused by like I thought I heard like something about like a certain amount
Yeah,
of players.
no,
Thanks,
three players have to be all in.
Waspaloy. We're here for your
Oh, okay,
excellent
okay,
channel.
okay.
Like if there's still action behind
Gotcha, of course.
They are talking here
So as soon as there's all-ins though,
the run it twice rule.
auto twice.
As soon as all of the players are all in, if there's a side pot, obviously something
That's
like
kinda
that,
cool.
then they won't.
Yeah,
run
it's
it.
fun.
So that is interesting. So
Not-
think about
Keeps
that.
the-
Let's say you
keeps
have
people
one player.
winning.
yeah,
all in.
I don't even really
Two
usually
other
run it
opponents.
twice, but it makes sense.
These opponents are going to keep firing down, and let's say you get into just fold
get
your
busted
one of the
out.
opponents
Yeah.
on the turn.
I'm hoping it keeps
Then you're
me
only
in.
going to see 2 rivers as opposed to 2 full boards.
Sure.
So that's kind of interesting
Yeah.
dynamic. in itself.
Absolutely. Thanks, thanks, Tosslin. We appreciate that a lot, man.
Raise to 55.
Yeah, Crisco, we're always making upgrades to the stream. I know we've done over the last couple cages, better table mics, cameras, camera upgrades, graphics upgrades, the whole 9 yards. So
That's easy.
we're getting better every time, man. Thanks for hanging out.
We had the flying yesterday.
Ace Queen 10-9
Oh,
with a
nice.
bunch of space
Yeah,
for
it's
Reed.
tough.
He's gonna pop it up.
Never had a plan.
Newly 3-bet Tom doing what he does. 3 bets to 175.
Right.
He's gonna call.
Wow.
An interesting board.
Indeed
it's
it
so
is.
coordinated though. You can't feel great. Obviously, you could be up against an Ace King. You could be up against a random combo with 10 Jack as well.
Sure, you have some relevant blockers, and of course top and bottom, and he figures that's good enough to bet. And Cannuli just had 4 Francisco cards and dumps it. So yeah, not necessarily the flop you wanted to see with that set of holdings, but good enough. And sometimes you don't need the goods, you just need the goodness.
For me, even if it's a very small pot, if I ever get Tom Cannuli to fold, that's a huge win.
Oh my God, yes,
It's a huge win.
yes.
Huge win.
And it's like, well, dude, you just said that you would pay me $1,000 later for folding the cash. Shut up! I don't care. I got you to fold. I got you to fold anyway. Anyway, I get you to
care.
fold, dude.
I'm all in, but I'm like,
Oh, Okie Rain is like, I want a trip, and I played in the August one, and then Phil took me out with a rivered set.
Such a classic
Oh,
Phil move.
textbook.
And then we have the immediate dad joke by Flow Junkie saying, "Did he buy you dinner after on a set of plates?" Wow, 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 wow. Raised to 60 here by Margie with the mystery hand. Dree's gonna find the fold, as is Monroy.
I'm gonna get me another bowl.
Where was the soup from?
You know, everybody talks
Where?
about this
I
chicken
wanna know,
soup.
though.
I think
Like,
it's
it is
back.
amazing,
Maybe
and I have yet to
it
try
is
it.
downstairs.
Wait, is
And
it
it's
the,
definitely
Oh,
gonna
it
be
is
happening
really
today.
good.
See?
If you remember
No,
last
no.
time, Danica was sick, remember? She was
Yeah.
hanging out in the room. My wife was sick, and she
vegetable
kept
in it.
ordering the soup,
the guy
Potato.
and she must have eaten
guys
10
just
bowls
tell
of
me
soup
that
in
And
3
she felt
days.
way better.
And she did. It was, you know, they call matzo ball soup
and it's
Jewish
a top 5
penicillin.
restaurant.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Chicken
Where you
soup
from?
might just be penicillin
Yeah.
straight away.
What about you?
I'm originally from New York. I live in Jersey now.
Yeah, grew up on Long Island. I live in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice. I was like more.
Grill and chinchilla, what's up?
Right now?
All my family lives in Yonkers, so now I go to the city more than I
Oh,
ever
so
go.
they
I
actually
went to
have
school
a
in
table over
Binghamton,
there.
so
Oh, we're on a break.
Oh, or they're just going on a break. Because you
Break
never
time?
know. I thought they were all standing up to do the cake. Because you know how everybody stands up when something's going on at
Yeah,
the other table,
right.
right?
Pick 'em up!
I love it. All right, it looks like these players are going on a short break, guys. We have a little bit of fun footage to show you. Don't go anywhere. We will be right.
If you think the player reactions to our first $5 million Venom were out of control, wait until you hear what they have to say about what's next. The Venom returns to America's Card Room. This time with a $6 million guaranteed prize pool, $1 million for first place, and 7 days to take it down. It all starts Wednesday, November 27th. Are you ready? Get the whole deal at americascardroom.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Longcar, and we are here in San Jose, Costa Rica for America's Card Room's Cage event. I'm accompanied by actor and comedian Norm Macdonald, America's Card Room's CEO Phil Nagy, poker commentator Justin Kelly, and poker Twitch streamer Jared Gabin, aka God's Big Toe. All right, so we're all down here for the Cage. What has your experience been, each of you, being down here in Costa Rica for the Cage?
It was funny because being a tournament player mostly, I kind of felt comfortable. It felt a little tournament-y for me. The blinds were going up, and actually once I got down to like 30 or 40 blinds, it was really comfortable for me because that's my wheelhouse. But then I was talking to a lot of other people who were mostly cash game players, and like, oh, this feels really like a cash game to me. So actually, I think you guys did a great job of making that hybrid and making it comfortable for everybody.
I think that's a good way to do it, is to choose one and play it like that.
Right.
Because I was always like, I was always confused as to which I should be. You know what I'm saying?
You guys were all out in Vegas this summer. How would you compare playing a World Series of Poker tournament, how that felt compared to playing the Cage? How would you compare the two?
Well, I love this because it was so unique that you know, you could come in last and make money. You know, and so I really like that. He invented it.
That's right.
That's true.
right.
That's true.
How did that come to you?
I don't know. I was looking at, you know, just different formats and how cash games and tournaments play. And like you were saying, it's the millhouse for tournament players. It's that 20, 30 big blind shoving range, reshoving range. And it's where cash games, you know, you're playing super, super deep. And I said, you know, I want to do something that not everybody solved, right? And I don't want it to happen so often that everybody's going to be able to solve it. So keep it super high buy-in, and
Well, that's interesting.
keeps it fresh, because nobody can get a big enough sample size to say,
Right.
oh yeah, I own the Cage. Well, maybe somebody can, but we won't talk about that.
So they're playing to you?
Yeah.
So how do you play it as a tournament?
No, well, it plays much more like a cash game than it does a tournament, but you have that fallback that when you get to that, you know, 15 or 20 big blinds, that you can still do that re-stealing range. So it's depending on the different situations, you have to play really, really different. And a lot of tournament players, they don't ever get into a spot where they're playing, you know, 200 or 300 big blinds deep, especially for really, really big money, right? That's awesome. For me, the great part about it is, I guess, making everybody uncomfortable at the game that they're comfortable with.
Yeah, right.
I also feel like when you're doing the World Series, the events are so big and they're so long, it feels like work, especially if you grind out a bunch of events like I did. And this was, you know, a tight-knit group of 30-ish people, and we all kind of came together and played. It almost felt like a giant home game for a lot of money. And that was a great experience for sure.
True. And I mean, with the $55 satellites for these players to get in and satellite their way to Costa Rica and get a whole good time in an extreme package, they're playing essentially this game. None of these players have played a 5,100 cash game before in their life, ever. They couldn't even dream of playing that. So the fact that they're playing this now, and it's actually in a comfortable atmosphere to where I think they're actually probably playing their best game at a 5,100 level. It's really cool for them.
Yeah.
Now, how did you jigger the blinds? Did you experiment?
Well, I went like this and then a little like that. No, we ran some models. And we looked at it and we wanted it to run somewhere around 100 big blindish or 80 big blindish average stack. And cage after cage after cage, it doesn't matter if you have 20 people or 300 people. It's gonna stay somewhere around it's 80 big blinds ish average stack, which, you know, turns out we're pretty good at poker, so that's why the blinds ended up like that. And a lot of people, every time people come down here, say, why don't you do these big tournaments? Why don't you do this? Why don't you add that onto the cage? And that's not what this is about. What this whole experience was about was to make it small enough that you can still shake hands with everybody. You can come feel like you met WPN, like to help humanize the company.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, there's a lot of internet companies, you just don't know if it's 8 guys behind a conference table, and there's people with hundreds of thousands of dollars on their account with us, and you know what? It's good having that confidence that, oh, they are a real company, and I've actually shook their hand, and they're decent people, or at least not the worst people in the world.
So we're talking about structures and deeper stack structures. On that note, I think all of us, obviously except for Phil, just got done playing the Venom, the $5 million guaranteed Venom that had a very deep structure. Tell me what you guys thought about the Venom and the structure. Tell me what you guys think.
I thought it was phenomenal. It was kind of a funny thing. I happened to have Chris Moorman on my right the entire time in the Venom. So when I came here, I felt really prepared to have Chris Moorman on my right for 2 straight days. So that was fun. But yeah, I mean, what an opportunity. And the fact that it blew the guarantee out and the Guinness Book of World Records, like, what an amazing experience. I'm really excited for the next one.
Yeah.
Really, really excited for that.
The structure was really, like, perfect as far as, like, length. You got to play for the whole day. I never felt at any point like it was sort of a turbo and I felt really forced to get my stack in. It was just kind of like you can just play your game. You already know you're going to play for this 12-hour chunk, and you could just kind of go into coast mode and do your thing, and it was really nice. Yeah.
And you can tell like, that the WSOP is because now when I look back, you know, when they would give you $1 chip for every dollar you gave them, you know, so you're in a $1,500 tournament, and the first hand you lose a 30 or stack, and so this year, you know, they fixed it, but I can't even. It seems so weird to me now that you started with so little, you know, so few chips.
And meanwhile, in the Venom, you started with what, 300,000?
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge. Yeah.
So here's a question for you two. How has your Twitch play affected you in the poker community in any kind of way?
You mean it's like how's my stream affected me in life or in poker and everything?
Yes.
One thing I thought was amazing, I got to the feature table and my phone started blowing up and everyone started texting me. I'm like, guys, send me a DM. I love you. I definitely love you, but I'm trying to work. You know, and like, you know, not now. And then I noticed, you know, when I sat there, one thing I knew there was going to be a bunch of people kind of waiting for me. And then when I was in the booth, you guys, you know, you see all the stupid toe emotes floating up and stuff. It's really special, you know, and we're kind of talking this funny, you know, these people spend hours with me day in and day out, and we have a connection even though we've never met. And so just to have that kind of, you know, admiration and support is amazing, you know, and you feel like you're doing it as a team.
Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, obviously coming from a commentary background, it's so easy in the booth because we get to see everybody's hand. And so then when I'm on Twitch, I'm interacting with the audience, and I basically find myself doing commentary on my own hands and kind of just talking myself through like I would do in the booth, blind, essentially. Yeah. In fact, we did commentary on the Venom blind with no cards, and that was a really fun sweat because we got to guess people's cards.
Yeah,
and
I've
then
never done that before.
And when we'd flip them over, we'd be like, yeah, we called it. Yeah. We got it. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And I just think
then it's cool and it's honest.
Yeah, I just think Twitch in general is just a really great platform for poker and just going through and you know, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you're the worst player or the best player, man, if you make it fun and the people want to watch, it's just a good time.
Yep.
You know?
I also think, in a way, it's made me a better player. One, because you want to be good in front of everybody and you want to succeed. And two, I'm talking about my hands, every hand, over and over again, all the way through, every day.
That's super, super
Your
important,
fundamentals get super
right?
solid.
It's because, you know, it's in every hand you have, well, really 3 options, you know, to call, fold, or raise. And a lot of times people just don't think about all the options. That would be call. But it's you don't think about all the options in all the different situations. I see you guys on Twitch, and being forced to talk about all of those situations every time, it's got to make you a better player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also with that you have an audience, you know, that it's so easy to make a dumb play if you got 6 tournaments.
Oh, and they're not ashamed to let you know. Like, they have no fear in telling you what they
Oh,
think
yeah.
about what you just did.
Those are
That's
called chat pros.
That's actually like in NASCAR. The reason they watch for the crashes. They watch just so you can screw up and berate you about it.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you're getting a big spot and you almost know the guy has you, but you have a really strong hand and you could make a really great laydown, but the chat and the audience will never know. And so they'll just be like, oh, how do you fold that? How do you fold that? And I'm like, watch, I know he has me beat. Then I click call, and they're like, oh, I told, obviously he had you beat. How do you call that?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's so like validating and unvalidating at the same time. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I did that. One time I did a high stakes poker. I commentated, and I did the same thing. I didn't want to see the cards.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when they can see the cards, they go, "What's the guy thinking?" You know,
Right,
obviously.
It's totally obvious that he flopped top set on your overpair. I mean, how do you lose there?
Yeah, likewise, when just a king high is good and you're like, come on, this is good all day. And you're like, if you really don't know the cards and you put yourself in that person's shoes, there's no way this is good. I'm just going to fold. You know, it's always really interesting when you can get behind the scenes with it.
I stream quite a bit, as you guys know, and for me, I can honestly say the first 3 months of streaming, I think knowing that I've got a group of people that I don't know that are watching and judging and assessing, it definitely affected my decisions, I feel like, for like the first 3 months. Like the psychological aspect of what are people going to think? And you know, you always obviously you want to make the right decision even when you're by yourself, and now you've got 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 people watching you, so now you really feel like under the gun.
And what about when somebody else raids you with thousands more viewers and all of a sudden, does it make you exponentially a little bit more nervous on your game when all of a sudden now there's 5,000 people watching you every move and you're like, oh God, the chat is scrolling so fast you can't even read it?
Well, you guys all play online on ACR a ton. Tell me what your favorite ACR tourney is on the regular schedule.
Ooh, I have a few. The Sunday warm-up, I won't miss it. The $22 50K, I'm not gonna miss it. I gotten sick and I thought I had food poisoning and I had this little stomach condition, not a big deal. But OSS was starting the next day and I told my wife, I'm like, they're gonna have to effing kill me for me to miss the day. So I played the first day of OSS, I was in the ER on Monday.
Nice.
There was no way I was missing it, you know, and so yeah, like I have a bunch of them. You know, I love the series and the stuff. It's you know, for the biggest and the baddest guarantees, there's nowhere else to go in the US, you know, it's a great place to be.
So the nurse comes in to draw blood and you're like, hold on, I'm in a hand.
Yeah,
you gotta wait.
Hold on.
Wait right now. For me, it's everything on a Sunday. So we actually talked about this in the commentary booth a little bit, and you know, Sunday is a day for church. Like our church is going to online poker. Like that's what we're doing. We are going to church, you know. And as Kevin Martin would say, we're at the Church of Ace King. That's what it is, right? We're just we're handling biz.
Right.
So pretty much, I don't miss any tournament on a Sunday, to be honest with you.
So we're doing this interview, as you guys know, right here in the heart of the America's Cardroom.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
Winning Poker Network headquarters.
I have never been in a like it's all you know.
So tell me your impression. Tell me your impression of the Winning Poker Network, being down here and seeing everything. And
well, it's like I don't know. It's like you know, it's like you see a dollar bill with George Washington on it, you know, and then all of a sudden you're sitting beside George Washington. I don't know how to explain it, but.
I think that did it just
Are
fine.
you George Washington?
I'm totally just fine with that. I'm totally George Washington. Or a dollar bill. I'm not sure which one.
Nice.
Yeah,
$3 bill. I
Kind of
heard.
shows you that this is a real business and they have a
That's the
real
big joke
office
over
with
here.
real people here, and it's not 6 or 8 people in front of a conference room. You know, it's a legit building with a legit business, and yeah, like it's an actual
Right,
operation.
and they love poker.
Yeah, every single
Love
person I
poker.
talked to last night was from a different department, and every one of them was talking about how much. Even a bunch of them were telling me they never played poker before they came here or before they started in the industry, and now they have an account somewhere and they're hooked.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
get sucked in.
I've had the pleasure of actually seeing 3 offices now of WPN, and they're growing so fast. I feel like every time I come out to the cage, he's like, "Hey man, let me show you our current office and let me show you the new one." And I'm like, "All right." And then I come out again, and he says the exact same thing, and I'm like, "Are you serious? They're just leapfrogging offices because they're growing so fast." And this office is really, really, really nice.
Super
man.
nice.
It's a lot of fun, and you can just tell the overall camaraderie of the entire staff. It's a very group environment where all the desks, all the tables, everybody's kind of like a tight-knit group. And I constantly see there's a lot of different conference rooms, and for a reason, because everybody just gets in there for like a quick huddle. All right, let's touch base on things. I mean, it's a very cohesive group, and you can feel it.
Yeah, we were sitting in a conference room before this, just hanging out, and I happened to notice right outside the window, Ricardo was walking down. He was shaking everyone's hand as he walked down, and the whole group started laughing, and you can feel the family.
Yeah,
you definitely feel the family.
Well, that's kind of the way we run the company. It's for me. I showed you my office right there in the very front. I like to be right there next to customer service, next to marketing and development, and really have a feel of what's going on. And it is kind of surreal, right? Because when I started in the poker, it's 3 people, right? Only one of them's been here longer than me, right?
Now shifting over to a new topic, bots. It's a word we've heard a lot over the last couple of years in the online poker industry. Tell me what you guys think of WPN's success fighting the bots. And there have been many reports that have just come out in the last month that show lots of bot companies that don't even support America's Cardroom anymore, bots that don't even work on ECR. Tell me what you guys think about WN's success with this.
I just want to start. I just love their absolute transparency on it, right? First off, there's bots on every site, everywhere, all the time, so let's not kid ourselves, right? But at this point, I love that they're super open about it, transparent about it, and that they're kicking refunds. And constantly, it's just, okay, let's go back and look at the books. This is funny. This guy's a bot. How did he win? Where did he win? Let's kick money back to the players. And I respect that level of honesty and openness, to be honest with you.
Also, when you guys are playing at your level, can you identify bots and then use it to your advantage?
You know, it's funny. I happened to be studying not too long ago with a bunch of people that I work with, and I didn't even realize that I just lost a hand to a bot. And they're like, "Oh, did you know who that was?" And fortunately, that guy happened to get caught, and I got the refund. But being a tournament player, it's not as much of an issue, I don't think.
Oh, tournament.
But at the same time, I play this game because I love it, and I don't cheat because luckily I don't have to. And so I think making it fair for everybody is just, we want a nice, fair ecosystem for everybody. It just makes it better as a whole.
We kind of, as a company, we looked at, okay, how do we want to approach this? What do we want to do? What's everybody else doing? What are they doing right? What are we doing right? And being transparent about it again, right? And it's nothing could make me happier that when I see in these bot forums, they say, "Oh yeah, we still can't support WPN because they're doing this." Well, I'm going to do more of that. And where it is, it's difficult to differentiate a bot from what a person would be. So our philosophy was to go after the bot manufacturers and make the bots more difficult to work. It seems to be working so far, and randomly bot testing people.
It's a great story. Yeah.
Right? What we did was we outlined a 6-month and 1-year plan to combat bots, right? And I don't want to get into too much, but we monitor all the commercial bots out there, and we see them complaining and how much they hate us, and that they're even removing, we're not supporting WPN anymore. Well, that's a win, right?
Yeah,
It's and like you were streaming. And
like as a player, you can feel the crackdown in a good way, because I was playing, I had 12 or so tables playing, and all of a sudden I got an alert in my lobby saying, "We need you to take the CAPTCHA test to make sure." A little security check, and by sheer coincidence, because I was playing so much and I was streaming, I failed the damn test on stream, and then got on Skype and messaged Phil. I was like, "Phil, just to let you know, I just failed this test. It's me," and I got an email and said, "Oh yeah,
That means
we know
you're
you guys
so
big time."
good.
Yeah, I guess I'm
you were
bottish.
you were
I don't know
playing
what happened.
perfect.
You're a human bot, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of funny that it happened that way.
I can
For
say
me, it actually makes me feel safer. Like I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, and because
I can personally say that I'm amazed how much has been accomplished in such a short period of time with the bot issue, because I feel like it's just, correct me if I'm wrong, just about in the last 4 or 5 months, we've seen, as you're talking about, the capture, you guys have come out with the capture feature, tons and tons of refunds, being open and honest about everything on social media, and then I come down here to Costa Rica, and you guys show me, and there's an entire room over on the other side of the building here that has a number of employees. This is the bot room. You guys showed me the room. This is the security department. This is the affiliate program department, and there's a room over here of employees just working on bots around the clock. Right. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel, and obviously I've seen many reports myself online that have the list of all of the 10 or 12 major online poker sites. This site is low safety, this site's medium safety, and America's Cardroom isn't even on those lists anymore now because you guys have been working hard to just make the bots totally not work on ECR, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You guys, I can see and feel. I think this word's been being used so much, but it's you guys are being so transparent that you guys are putting in a strong effort to combat this issue, and it's obvious it's been working. So continue doing what you're doing, and continue that room in the back with the bot employees, and it seems like everything's going good.
Well, that's another thing about coming here, because I think like there'll always be, but in history, offshore, shadowy, you know what I'm saying? And then when I meet you and look you in the eye and I get to know you, you're a
it's all true.
Well, no, I just trust you. I mean, maybe you.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way the whole reason the cage
evolved. It would be great
like
if
this.
you could, get that. It would be great if you could capture this and.
That's what somebody was saying. This last cage is you should walk through and do a virtual tour for all the people that can't make it, and that was it's almost, I guess, 2 years ago now is why I designed the cage. Why we said we're going to start playing the cage down here is because it's such a grassroots program where you've got 20 or 30 guys that you're bringing down here that are poker players, and they see that you're not 8 guys behind a conference table. You're a decent human being.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back for more PLO debauchery. Justin Kelly, Scott Moskowitz with you guys calling the shots live here from San Jose, Costa Rica at The Cage. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
4-card poker. Wasp Palloy knows what's up with the cage. He's like, last time I was in Costa Rica, the Friday night dinner and the Saturday morning breakfast, and by breakfast he means 1 p.m., with people who I have never met was so awesome, and one of the best times of my life. We had a good time with you, dude.
Travis G. Coffin, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining us. Good times here so far.
He's getting one too.
That's right, Tom. None of that 2-card nonsense.
If you haven't had it, you're definitely getting
I was talking about bots a little bit in there. We were talking about bots today.
They got something
the
ready
tour
for it.
around the ECR headquarters, and man, the stuff they are doing behind the scenes to snap these bots and smack them down, they're on point.
Watch out for
They are doing really, really cool creative things that we're not going to get into because otherwise you know how to avoid it. I love how they tell you that. They always tell you like the war strategy on the news. Like, we're going to hit him here and here and here, and your opponent's watching like, cool, thanks for telling me.
Thank you.
Now, it's really, really cool stuff they're doing to swallow these bots down, and they're having tremendous success. They have the least amount by a long shot. In fact, a lot of bot manufacturers have now taken off.
It's weird because like I'm still young, like I'm physically
we're just
young,
tired of
but
messing
like
with it
I'm
because they're
old
purposely doing
actually by
software
age,
tweaks
so
with
it's
the new
like I'm
HTML
weird.
platform. They can break these bots.
There's a
like
comedian who did
and as a
something
developer,
funny
you really want
about
to
the
sit
age
here
40.
and
It's
spend
like you're not
hours
young.
and hours making it work again.
If you meet someone they're like, oh, you're 40, like
Yes?
it's not like the
question.
paperboy age.
I don't know where you're going with that.
So yeah.
No, that's okay.
When we're right here,
about 40.
I remember when
solid hand,
like
ace,
I was
ace,
like
queen,
23
jack,
when
pretty
my
much
friends
all the
turned 30
diamonds.
and I was like, dude, you're so
Seven, go here, another
old.
gun.
Like at 30, I remember thinking 30 was really old. When I was 30, I was like, oh, okay, but like I thought when 23, 30's like life's over at 30. I don't know how old you guys are here. How old is everyone?
31.
You?
It feels like that. 32.
32?
32.
27.
27?
Yeah.
Aw.
32. 32. No.
Yeah, life is certainly not over at 30. It's just beginning.
It only gets-
you don't know your ass from your elbow in your 20s.
The lock of the week?
But you think you know
You think you know. Yeah, and I think, you know, same thing,
I mean,
you
you
know,
might
you
wanna
always think
ask,
you know when you always
Big
don't.
Rob.
Not gonna ask.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Man, I remember
No, I don't
hearing
think,
like when my grandpa was living in a retirement home. He's passed away now, but I remember one of the guys saying he was like
I don't know what
celebrating
the
his
lock of the week
85th
is.
Yeah, no,
and he said something along the lines of
the
like,
first 4 or 5
you know, I
weeks
just
was
feel like
amazing,
I'm
and
just
then the
such a
last
wiser
5
man
weeks
than I
have
was
been
when I was
disaster.
80. And it really hit me like, oh,
But that's how the NFL goes.
of
It's
course.
super swingy.
Like, just because you get to some like, oh, an old man is all interchangeable.
I love it
No, man,
myself
you're
because I
always
like it, but
learning
like,
more
it's
and
gonna
knowing
be a
more than
different
you
sport.
thought you
Like,
knew before, even when you get up to an advanced stage.
And as long as you're learning more than you're forgetting, you're doing it right.
Huh? What were we talking about?
Excuse me? Cannuli making it 70 to go here with a fun Ace Queen 5-4 double suited.
Hand is a fun hand.
If only it was high-low. I'd like that hand a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's the nuts in
like Mank.
08.
I bet.
But it's good enough to win in
6
regular
games yesterday,
O.
Mike bet 3 and went 0 for 3, but we won.
As Cannuli scoops
we
it
broke
on.
even.
Sounds like
But
I
Mike
actually had a good
took 3
hand and
games.
nobody calls me for it.
For
It's
what?
messed up.
Where are all the calls, man? Oh, it's Poker Mama.
So like, I'm surprised you lost.
Poker
Hi,
Mama
darling.
in the house. What's going
His
on?
nickname
Welcome,
is- I call
welcome.
him the son of Jesus.
So lucky.
So lucky. I mean, like, just in poker, like in life, he's just super lucky. Like, when he was 16, 17, he was playing on UB. Like, I was playing in the big leagues. He was like crushing the game at 17, 18. Just has continued on. He's,
Is that better
like,
on
just
the
got
levels
out
there?
Yeah, I
there.
just adjusted the levels. Let me know if that works for you. There might be somewhere else we have to adjust it as
Yeah,
well.
he is a savage.
He's
I mean, I dealt with him for the last
He's
year.
tough to deal with online for sure.
Savage.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll work on those volumes here
You
as soon as
can't
our
be
producer
stubborn,
hops
right?
back in
At
here.
the end of the day, if someone's good, especially in those, why? There's so many spots.
RB Jork, the guy with the iPad, is tracking the action. So good old battle of the blinds here. Looks like Monroy is going to pop it up to 60. And Cannuli is going to 3-bet. No surprise there. 3-bet Tom doing it.
That's so weird. His hand is good, and well, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, he's a 3-card hand. The 5 is a, well, I don't know. It's a wheel card. I guess his hand is fine. 8-4-4 means Monroy has outflopped 3-bet Tom. He does have himself a decent top pair, playing his king and his 8. He's got a backdoor flush draw. More importantly, Cannuli has an air ball. But that never stopped him from betting before. And it's good enough, man. It looks like Monroy paired the one card he wasn't really keen on, that 8.
Travis G. Coffin, there are $55 cage satties. However, I believe they run on Sundays. So if you're not seeing them right now, then that could be why.
What is that?
There is a $55 cage satellite tomorrow. Should be giving away at least 2 seats. I believe it is an every Sunday thing.
Nicaragua.
Oh, well, thanks, York. You're welcome. And thank you for naming yourself after somebody famous.
Just needed coffee, but little shot to follow. Shot for the taste. I'll try it later on too.
Yeah, you shouldn't like remove him from your call, just in case. But like, I'm surprised he's even still doing that because like he got in big shit. He got banned from a lot of brick and mortars. Wow.
What
Not
up,
because he's,
87
like,
good times?
winning.
Nice to see you, dude.
But if you look at his Instagram, it's pretty. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like wild. Like
Wild. Why is he friends with Drake?
he's not friends with Drake. He's in Vegas and just like probably has somebody who's there who knows him. I can guarantee that.
That's it, man. Single raise gonna get it done here. No one liked their hands enough to see a flop.
Oh, is he mowing on that lovely chicken soup we were talking
He
about
sure
right there?
is.
Man, all right, I'm going to try some of that on dinner break.
Oh, for sure.
So, guys, we do give the players, what's the dinner break? I believe it's 30 minutes, I think?
Yeah.
We give the players a 30-minute dinner break here in between blind levels. So when that happens, not only do they get to go eat, we get to give you guys a new featured table.
Nice. In your life and have your
Spoiler alert, Ryan DePaulo will not be on it.
Because he is not here, but I do love me some Ryan DePaulo, and I know all you guys in the chat, I'm going to stop you right now. Here comes all the parkour. I already know. He did some Costa Rica parkour, always good times.
I think he used to have a website or something, but like...
Do you see he posted, I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before, him like
Mizrachi?
saying hi to Michael Mizrachi
Yeah.
and Mizrachi just totally blowing him off?
Nah, he's like, I don't watch videos.
Get out of here. What was amazing was how many people were like, oh my god, Mizrachi's such a jerk. What does he think? He's too cool for school?
He wasn't even like...
The whole thing... I can't believe people watch that and don't see that it was a setup.
Yeah.
It's like, are you guys watching with the same eyeballs as I am?
No, they're watching with their own eyeballs.
I guess they are. They're so dense.
Gifting you those picks.
All right, another gun limp here with queens and a lot of diamonds for Jari. Canuli's going to limp as well. Again, single suit, baby flush draw with tens.
He just DM'd you?
He was DMing me for like 3 or 4 months. I didn't see it. It was like probably 7 or 8 different messages.
For players.
That's super. This is gonna be our first like multi-way limped pot going on right here. Ace 8, 6 peels down, couple of spades on board. And the only person with a spade draw is Margie.
And it is not good.
Yeah, and it's only a 7 high here. Does check around. Now 2 weird pair and the flush draw for Margie. Still in the lead.
I like your honesty, Travis Coffin. I'll be honest, I watch it, and I think I'm guilty of being sad that I thought Mizrachi wasn't nice. You know what? You've gone up many rungs on the ladder in our books, dude, for being honest enough to admit that instead of just jumping on the what's wrong with everybody bandwagon.
Honest on the internet? That just sounds crazy.
Honestly, it really though. You're so right, Crisco. People just like being mad. Yeah, they're just looking for reasons to clutch their pearls. Won't somebody please think of the children?
And that's the 5th time I've heard that in 2 days.
That one was for you, dude. That one was for you. You're welcome.
I love it. All right, so we did get a very small bet by Margie. Canuli pops it to 200, trying to just steal this pot. Margie's not happening. River does not matter. 2 pair here. Still good for Margie. And I can respect Canuli's attempt there on that turn. That was a bit of a juicy turn, makes the board extra draw heavy.
Indeed.
Not to mention already a straight out there at that
yes,
point.
yep, and he's gonna fire again here. You know, he's not giving up just because he was called on the turn. He's like, if I'm gonna bluff, I'm gonna bluff, and it works.
And he gets it done. Be like Tom, guys. Be like Tom.
So running down. Forgive me, I'm blanking on her last name, Sarintsakova or whatever her name was. She, that was not. I mean, Tom just ran her down. He just got lucky. That is an example of Tom outplaying. Yeah, that's poker right there.
Yeah.
Sure, I tried to bluff, but it didn't work. So many of us, probably myself included, are going to be tempted, especially in Omaha, just be like, isn't my opponent just calling me down with a straight here every time?
Yeah.
Like if I fire on the river, aren't I just firing into oblivion? But not Tom, man.
Nope.
Tom continues that bluff train, and it works.
He fires into oblivion and then wins, so that's okay.
There you go.
Travis G. Coffin, a.k.a. Travis Tried It on Instagram. What's up, buddy? I remember when you first started watching The Cage, you had just had your accident. You hopped online. I think you created your ACR account maybe after watching this Cage stream for the first time. So glad you're doing better, man. Glad you're doing better.
Is this live? Yes. Oh,
Dude,
so
I'm
it
telling
is.
you, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
This is sick.
Anybody want to take Joshua at -800?
Hey, what up, RoboBot?
He's probably like 4 to
Thanks
1.
for hanging out with us
like
here
2.5.
on America's Cardroom's The Cage.
I'm going to give it up to KY Wildcat Ogre dropping some knowledge. Very true. If you're never getting caught bluffing, then you're not bluffing enough. Now, that doesn't mean that you just you just make shitty bluffs all day and get called.
Right, totally.
But that means that, come on, you guys got to be able to balance your range for sure.
That is true, although there are some dependencies that are sort of like
he's a dog. He was a huge dog.
hard to quantify. Like Train doesn't bluff that much and still just gets looked up constantly, as we all know. And that has, I've watched you play a lot of hands of poker at this point, especially with the all the streaming of online poker you've been doing. You get looked up a lot.
Oh, everybody looks me up.
It doesn't matter that you don't bluff that much.
I could tell you my hand and they'd be like, I still don't believe.
Yeah, right, exactly. And oh, you don't get caught bluffing, so you must not be bluffing enough. Or you just get called a ton So you have to, like, you know, be a little more careful with your bets.
So this will be a lot of fun with the ace of hearts out there. It now gives the nut flush draw for Monroy, but he's up against Jury's set of sixes. Cannuli with the mystery hand, but not slowing down after both opponents check to him. He fires 300, and this could get interesting.
We should just bet some money. We should bet something on this for fun.
Ghost's like, I never got caught robbing a bank, so that means I've not robbed enough of them. That is exactly what that means.
I mean, that's strong logic.
That's always how it works.
That
You
means
know,
what,
people
like,
knock off
somebody
armored
thinks
cars,
that Rui's
and it
gonna win
works
'cause it
until
started
that
off
one time
well.
that it doesn't.
And Jarice just going to flat the 245. Now over to Monroy thinking,
Yeah, minus 225. Crazy.
where are we at here?
Yeah, dude.
Monroy is
I wonder if
going
that
to make
means
a
it
call, I
started
believe.
off
Oh
with
no,
a
is that a
4
check
to
raise by
1.
Monroy there?
Smart money's probably
I
going
think
on.
it might be. I see a blue plaque out there.
I could, probably. I'm gonna say if I gave
It's a healthy pot-sized check raise here.
Melissa, Food Dog Melissa's like, what kind of soup is that?
See?
You know, listen, we always have a food star of the show. It's either pizza or like flank steak or veggies or soup.
Yeah, exactly. But like a giant, like 10 pounds of flank steak on a platter.
All the flank steak in Costa Rica.
Yeah, fun story for those of you who remember that from the last cage when Canute, the giant muscle bodybuilder, Incredible Hulk, we ordered him an entire plate of steaks. And he not only ate the whole thing with the giant pile of rice in the middle, but the next day somebody ordered the steak and they said they were all out.
Literally. Here we go. Looks like we have Monroy all in with the nut flush draw and Kangs. He is ahead of 3-bet Tom, who turns 3 jacks.
Turns 3 jacks.
And of course he holds. And is he going to find a scoop again?
And Tom has a smaller flush draw too.
Yes, he does. And he's going to need some help. And he finds it.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
Tom Cannuli runs absolutely so pure. Look at that.
So good.
So he got it in before when he had higher flush draw. He had nut flush draw against second nut flush draw. Binks the flush 2 times. This time he gets it in and he has the lower flush draw, avoids the flush twice, and sucks out on kings.
Twice.
Wow.
Yep. It's
It's
easy to crush poker when you win all your all-ins.
Holy crap. Welcome to the cage, guys. If you don't like that, you don't like poker, and clearly you don't like Tom Cannuli because he is crushing.
Those guys?
I just want to be around. I think I just need to like have Tom near me and go play a slot machine or something like that. Should be an auto win, right?
Yes, but I would say more like something like blackjack where you can just put all the money in.
Yeah.
Because Tom specializes in putting all the money in and winning.
So we just got to put all the money in.
Right.
Yeah, I love the bet.
Is Luis the champ?
Dude,
Reese took the belt from him.
3-bet Tom is a very, very nice guy. And from what
Yeah,
you've seen,
Tom's great.
he's 100%. Anything you've seen that shows him as just a nice, cool, normal dude is very accurate.
100%.
He is very, very
Just
cool.
don't play all in pots versus him.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
else in life, no problemo.
Look, hang out with him all you want. Just don't do it on the felt.
That's right.
Just, you know?
Remind me, yeah, Melissa's like, I don't want to flip versus him. You don't want to be like an 80-20 favorite against him.
Yeah, because you're going to chop guaranteed.
100%.
Most likely
Yeah, that's right.
lose.
You know what you want to do is you want to get it in on the turn when he's drawing dead. I think that's your only spot where you're going to win an all-in pot.
Dom 52487. If you didn't have all those numbers, it'd be so much easier to say your name. But we still love you. All right, looks like Margie here on the button after it folds to him is going to make it 270 to go. It's a fun hand. King 10, 9 nines. Get looked up by Cannuli, who also has 9s. But Cannuli has 5-6 with it, and now he's open-ended.
Wow. Look out, world.
Still pretty much split equity pot here on the flop.
Yep.
That's so funny. Of
It
course,
is.
they both have 9s. And Tom has crappy 5-6, but he
4
still
and
finds
7.
a way to make it work for him.
Well, we'll see. You know, the pot is young. The board double pairs here.
And both players are like, But then again, in games like Omaha, when the board double pairs, it actually makes it less likely your opponent has a boat.
Like your opponent either already had you on the flop, or they have a random 4 that they continued with on the flop, which seems hard.
Now, it does go bet call here by Cannuli on the flop. The turn, Cannuli fires 300 now, and Margie's going to look him up again. I don't think this pot's going to get overly bloated. Now, that's fun. So there's a boat on the board, but again, that doesn't play. So we're just, at this point, playing 9s. 4s full of 9s. And this is either going to go check-check, or it's going to go check-bet call, would be my guess.
Check-check. Same
Look at the way he
hand,
flipped it
same
over. That was
hand.
awesome.
That's a pretty good outcome for both of these guys. You
Yeah.
know, like, yeah, they both make full houses, but it's so easy for your opponent to just be like, jacks?
That's when your buddy says, you say nines, and your buddy's like, how'd you know my hand? You're
Yeah,
like, no, I have nines.
I have the nines. Yeah.
I didn't
So
think
we're
we'd
gonna
actually
chippity
have
chop
that
that one
figured
up.
out. I thought I was just gonna win.
Ian Sheriffs is like, is that the poker boss? I know, it does kind of look like Sean, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel it. So, yes, absolutely, KY Wildcat Ogre is 100% correct. Day 1D of the Venom starts tomorrow. If you guys haven't got your ticket yet, make sure you do so. Plenty of satellites running around the clock to get in there, and it is going to be an absolute blast. We have a live feed from the ACR headquarters that I will activate tomorrow when we bust over that guarantee, and you can watch the massive celebration live yourself here.
Live feed activated.
Live feed active.
You like how Train had to one-up me by going an octave lower than I'm capable of doing? It's not my fault. It's that Train. It's that, dude, this guy's like, what are you, 6'4"?
6'3".
6'3". He just has longer vocal cords, so he's able to generate lower octaves. See, what's the
sorry,
point?
I'm not sorry. Got him. Did any of these guys sat in? Absolutely. In fact, you heard one of the players at the table earlier talking about he won just with his like rake back promotion or whatever. He won a free ticket into the $55 satellite. Totally forgot about it. The one on Sunday comes in halfway through, super short, and just ends up degen running it all the way down. He didn't even want. He wanted to get third, so he had cash in his account so he could just play some more. Instead, he can't even bust out. Must feel great, man. And then ends up in Costa Rica. So welcome to the show, bro.
Welcome indeed. Slinging meat. You got your first kid. You got a gender reveal party for your first kid tomorrow. Well, congratulations on your first child.
Well, I mean, your username checks out. I'm glad. I'm glad you got it. All right, Margie here makes it 70 to go. Nice hand here. Ace, King, Jack. A lot of spades. One too many, but we're not going to complain. Over to Anharia. Poker Guru 740. What's up? Welcome to the cage.
Again with this guy. Okay, he's always got to show me
This
up.
guy and the voices doing the things and all the stuff.
All the things. The stuff on this flop belongs for now to Anaria, who has 8s and 3s, but he has to fade the nut flush draw of Margie, who's kind of blocking his own flush here, which sucks a little bit, but he's got those aces to go with it, and this looks to be an action flop. You know, maybe more importantly than Margie's ways that he can win is that 8s and 3s are not terrific. You're not really going to like any run out. You're already behind all the other two pairs here with this 9 on the turn.
Yeah, Octocrab is no good. I mean, right now it's good.
Right,
but,
yes,
but
it is.
still.
And so he does check and call. Oh, sorry, no, he bets them. Right. Okay, he bets them and Margie calls. Interesting, just flat by Margie with a nut flush draw on the flop, but that's what he does. So now Anaria slows down and checks, and Margie takes that as an opportunity to bet.
Jackal on the river does pair up with Margie, but it's not enough. 8s and
Yeah,
3s, we were
still good.
harping them so bad, but they're still good.
Yes.
Doesn't make it easy, though. I would think running straight is kind of unlikely here. You need like Queen 10, 10, 7, something like that.
Which, if you had those spades in the hole, that would make sense. That's it. Yeah, the river's going to go check, and Anaria is going to be stoked to show down without a decision and scoop up RU 420 with a pretty marginal 2-pair.
Literally plus 420. There it is.
There it is.
Said you're going to name your daughter Eleanor. She's
Eleanor.
going to end up being a librarian or a really cool name of a car from
Mustang
Gone in 60 Seconds.
GT500, yeah.
Exactly. Or Shelby.
You know, one of the original GT500s they built for that movie, I think they built 11 of them. I was just reading this article. They built 11 of them. They built a bunch of them just to crash, you know, just to take off jumps
So
and stuff.
painful.
So they wrecked a bunch of them on set. Jerry Bruckheimer got a real one, like signed by Carroll Shelby.
Of course.
And there were a few other ones. One of the original real built ones is currently for sale.
Oh, God. What's the price tag
out
on
of
that?
Texas or something. I think it might be going up for auction.
Yeah. So what are we thinking that's going to be? It's got to be like a $500,000?
I think they're saying more.
Yeah.
They're expecting more. We'll find out.
That'd be nice. If I had some FU money, I would definitely look into buying that.
You know, I loved the hell out of that car too. The Chip Foose design,
so
you know,
sexy.
in whatever 2000 or 2001, whatever that came out. But you know, I don't. It has not held up for me aesthetically. Yeah. It looks a little 90. Oh, hey, Priestley's on board.
Poker Priest joins the table, my man.
I find it to be a little bit like early 2000s obnoxious body kit. Where I'm telling you, I loved that car, and now I look at it and I'm like, it's dated.
I love those obnoxious body kits. I scrape,
I know,
over,
you do, yeah, I know.
I scrape over bubble gum in the street. It's
Yeah,
great.
right, totally.
So 3-bet Tom is, 3-betting. Ace, King, 7-3, double suited here. And Priest is going to call. He knows all about 3-bet Tom here. Unfortunately, 3-bet Tom having position on you is not my favorite. And that is not a bad flop for the Priest dog. Starting off this table right with trip 10s.
Welcome in, trip 10s for the man.
And let's just boat up. Let's just get second nut boat ski. How about that?
Canooli drawing DED dead. Where are you from? And Priestley's doing everything he can. Sorry, to make it less confusing. Lang is doing everything he can.
So my read on Priest is when he has a monster, let's count how many blinks he does. Because that was pretty strong right there.
So Lang is going to bet, and he makes trips full of trips here on the river.
I actually like this. I think, unfortunately, Tom Cannoli doesn't have anything to really look him up. But the way Priest has played this hand, it's so passive. How does he ever show up with a boat here? Like, that's weird.
Both streets went check, you never bet? Yeah, yeah.
How is this ever a boat?
It doesn't seem... Yeah, right. You're right. But the thing is Cannoli's hand doesn't beat anything. Even if Priestley was like, oh, I was turning 2 8s into a bluff, he wins.
For sure. Hey, speaking of the one and only degenerate gambler, my man Ryan DePaulo in the chat. Parkour, brother. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, we saw Jamie Gold earlier, and he told you to F off. He doesn't like videos.
Yeah, apparently everybody tells you that.
Mluvím česky si dobrý. Hablo Čecho. I'll understand you better if you speak Czech to me. I understand very well, but my speaking is pretty bad. But
Man, isn't that always how it works with second languages or foreign languages? Like, I have the same thing too, where I can understand it pretty decently, but I can't speak it worth a crap. And that's kind of everyone's thing. Like, yeah, I can understand it, but I can't speak it. I want to meet the person that's like, I speak perfectly, but I don't understand worth shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's surprise.
Yeah. We don't golf.
I'm not great, but if you're speaking, I know a lot.
Oh my God, Ryan, you love Kasuf? Ugh, don't make me time you out, please.
Learn how to like a boss?
Ugh. I mean, if you hate poker, you might like a guy like that, I guess.
And everybody wants to swear in the chat, and guess what? I'm going to click allow. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
We're living on the edge here at the cage.
Hey man, if the worst thing in the chat is somebody saying FK and they don't even put any of the couple letters, we're gonna allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
Now the gentleman who just sat down at the table on the left side of your screen is another pretty solid crusher. He has played, I don't know what it is. He's probably played like 80% of the cages. I've seen him in almost every cage.
Friendly club. Oh, shit.
What do you mean? What do I mean? My wee wee is green. He sucks.
Don't sugarcoat it.
He's bad for the game, dude.
There's a difference between fun table talk and just blatant needling.
Yeah, yeah. If you well, I don't want to go too into it. This might not be the forum. I have thoughts.
No, there is forums actually. America's Cardroom has a forum. You can go check it out at America's Cardroom. Perfect segue right there.
Everyone listen to my thoughts. One, period.
I was up over 100.
I can give you the guide to procrastinating, but I haven't written it yet.
You guys have the castle or something?
Why is that funny? That shouldn't be funny.
Because my dad jokes are sometimes humorous. I was funny one time. I think it was like early 2000s.
Right around the time Eleanor was the hottest car on the planet.
You find people gamble a little bit more. It's not as tight as
Oh, I know Liberati. It's not far from. It's like a village.
There it is! Exclamation point! Free roll in the chat, guys. Coming at you. $250 free roll today. Another free roll tomorrow, but for $500. Free money, guys.
He's not really even. More focused on 25, 50, and 100.
I would rather a table full of nobody talking wearing headphones. My wee wee is green. You don't see an in-between between William Kasuf's demeanor and everybody not talking wearing headphones?
Very different. I like Travis. Jamie Gold reminds me of like a CarMax salesman. Hey, full confession, I was a CarMax salesman for a year.
Were you really?
For a year.
Oh,
yeah.
no way.
But I'll be honest with you, it's fixed commission, and so it really didn't matter whether you bought a $5,000 Saturn. Yeah, it was when Saturns were around.
And worth $5,000.
So it didn't matter. So I don't tell people that. I'm like, dude, I don't care if you buy the 60K Mercedes or the 5K Saturn. Like, it's what, like, let's just help you find a car.
Sure.
But I had this guy who still wanted to haggle one time, and so he just didn't understand that we don't budge on price. He's like, well, that's your asking price. That's your asking price. So finally I said, you know, I just stopped the car and I said, no, sir, that's our telling price. Because we're telling you what you're going to pay for this car. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
The soup isn't mandatory, but it's highly recommended. Margie making it 70 to go here on the button with good old double-suited queen high. Kind of a similar S-hand here for Joe. I was going to find the call. That's Joe. That's his name there on the left. Plays pretty much every cage. And let's just bink mid-set here for Joe. Welcome to the table. Everybody apparently just crushes their first hand at the table.
I'll finish over here too.
Not anything going on here for Margie. Just some marginal backdoor draws, which is another way of saying nothing.
¿Cómo se llama? Flan? Flan? You want the cheesecake?
Yeah, the P. Lang there is actually Priestley Lang, a.k.a. the Poker Priest. He also streams on Twitch, part of the Thirst Lounge, as you can see there from his badge. Very, very nice dude, good dude, and always produces really fun content, so check him out there on the socials.
Ryan's like, would you rather have drunk Scotty win taunting you or Helmuth berating you?
Drunk Scotty win all day.
There's not
Drunk
even
Scotty win.
That's not really a great AB because Phil berating you seems like nothing fun about it. Maybe like years later watching it.
I want to get
fun.
drunk with Scotty when he's like, you take that next shot for you, it's all over, baby. It's all over.
That would be so fun, right? He's like lighting one cigarette off the next. I mean, it would be a great time.
Drunk party tricks with Scotty Wynn. I would watch that all day.
From what I thought it was a lucky shot first time. No, that guy's a good boxer. You're not going to be a heavyweight. Yeah, you're not going to be in that.
Kristen Bell's character from Good Places called Eleanor. Good Place, great show.
But I mean, boxing is
so Ryan, I know you're just joking here about that, but actually that brings up a fun point. The iPads that they use to track the action, they cannot see the cards. They can't. That's it. They just can't do it. And that is also another built-in security measure of Poker GFX.
What's going on, man?
Good. How are you?
You remember me? Meats.
He does not remember him at all.
No, guys, let's make a read. He said, "You remember me?" And Joe's shaking his head.
He's like,
yeah.
He's nodding.
No, 100%.
Not at all. You can see
remember.
the vacant expression on his face.
How you doing?
That was great. What a great window into a tell.
How's things?
You moved here.
How's you and yours?
Yeah.
No, I mean, pretty tight.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I remember Kappa.
Actually, but that was after the fact.
Do you want the boo?
I came down here.
Do you want a boo right now or what?
Oh yeah, totally.
That's true. I remember her though.
No, but I came down to party one year and ended up getting.
Where do you live? In San Jose?
Yeah. So I got a kid.
That's why Joe's always here. I thought he lived here. He does.
Yeah, you gotta
makes
show me
sense.
some local spots.
This is like his like quarterly high stakes.
You recognized me. I looked at you. I was like,
Quarterly, like bi-monthly, dude. He's coming down.
Bad guys be like, oh shit.
Drew 117 in the house. What's up, buddy?
I
Welcome.
can't remember fucking jack shit anymore. So.
Wait, Joe or Norm? Joe. Norm's the other guy.
And Margie under the gun here.
Winnipeg,
Ace
right?
Jack 10-6, gonna pop it up to 65 to
It's all
go.
my peg.
Still
Homeboy
getting
pegs.
towards the tail end of the first blind round here at the cage. Still at 10-20. We're gonna up the stakes here pretty quickly to 25-50.
Retired, bro.
And it's gonna get real interesting.
Yeah, I stopped after the SNE kind of BS. I was like supernova for how many years, but I still dabble. That's sports. Losing all my life money is on sports.
It seems a little high, Ryan.
Yeah, but if you're edge against Tom, if you're against 3-bet Tom, is like negative 100.
Oh my God, yeah. I think it might be over 100.
Tom just says, give me any 4 cards. Just give me 4 cards off the top.
Run the board, dude.
I'll win.
Yeah.
Yes, the bottom right where the cards are is their chip stack, my friend. Everybody starts with 5K unless they bought a double buy chip, which will be used either as a rebuy if they bust, or they can use it at any point as an add-on to their stack to add on to another 5K. You can do exclamation point chip counts in the chat. Let's see here, Ghost will hook us up. But that
be
will
like,
take you
what was
to
his
America's
buddy's name?
Cardroom
Little
Twitter
Zane?
page, and we will be
He's in
updating those
Calgary.
chip counts
How's
for
he-
you
what's
guys
he
every hour and a half
I mean,
throughout
poker,
each of the
you
2
know,
days
He's a good
of
player, man.
the cage.
I mean,
Drew 117. We are playing cards up here. We might have just been a card reader
Well,
on
you
the
know what
last
happens
one,
to the fearless guys after
maybe the
all
players
that.
didn't slide over to the reader correctly or something. But we are playing cards up action today.
I'm sure
Yeah, and
he's-
it gets a little tricky sometimes when it's Omaha and you have 4 cards.
Yeah.
Because
Chris?
RFID chips, when there's 4 of them crammed next to each other, seem to get a little finicky sometimes.
What sites?
He plays here mostly. On,
So you stake players on WPN? That's your job?
Race to 65.
I've been doing it for a while.
Well, if you just pick Walters, you're good.
Oh, he's a fucking grind machine. Nobody puts him in volume. This guy does.
He's got. I know a few, but like he's in there.
He's right there. He's savage.
That's interesting. Joe talking about how he just stakes players on WPN, and they're talking about certain guys. I mean, you know, these guys who have the work ethic. Actually, Phil was talking about that earlier. Some of these players, I mean, you can see the hours they put in, and they're, you know, just every single day, start time, end time. That's what they're doing all day, every day.
He's not gonna be
Very,
playing like
very
the HUDs
methodically.
anymore, though.
Well, he learned how to use it.
Bet.
Margie with the mystery hand here is going to pop it up from under the gun. Action now over to Joe. Sounds like Joe makes the call. Action over to Priest. Totally just speculating at this point since our action tracker is hammered drunk. Now we're going to play a game called Count the Money.
I mean, I've lost like most of the guys in Winnipeg, like on a regular basis, just kind of when I go back into town.
I messaged him like maybe a year ago to try to see if he can get me some accounts in like Winnipeg to bet in.
Damn,
But I didn't
20,000
have a guy there.
MTTs,
I mean, I think
1.6 million
Clayton's
hands
doing
in the
it,
last 3 years.
Wow.
From
That
what I
is
hear.
a sick pace, dude.
Man, I haven't talked to
Man.
him. He's just lost his fucking mind, that guy.
He's like, volume?
Seemed like
Did
a
somebody
nice
say
guy.
volume? I've got a lot of volume.
No kidding. I mean, even in, let's see, I mean, I really played a lot online pre-Black Friday for like 2 years.
time I heard,
Like 2008 and 9, I played a lot.
I mean, he's selling
9 and 10. But, man, like in that, basically like a really similar time period, I think I was at like 300,000 hands.
Could be a different
Nowhere
Clayton,
near
someone out west. I
1.6
just
million.
assumed
That
he was
is
a poker guy
and I
for
feel like I
all
was
his-
playing a
He might,
ton.
like,
That is a ridiculous hand
facilitate
count,
some
man.
action with a real bookie, but I mean, he's not running a book himself. He's no fucking.
No, yeah, of course not.
But
You could be that now you're out here.
yeah, I just don't. I don't know anything about sports. I don't want to deal with it. It's kind of-
Yeah, Dom, what's your screen name on ACR, buddy? Punch that in the chat.
Although I am looking a little
Everybody behind the scenes at ACR is like, we're going to double check his numbers
Yeah, no
real
kidding.
quick.
Esports lines?
Yeah.
I actually just got a message from a guy I met at the airport. I had recommended this nice Costa Rican food place down the street.
Some of the
called
books are starting to do.
McDonald's?
No, the New Westra Tierra restaurant, I believe it was. And yeah, we went out there, and wow, the platter of food we got was absolutely insane.
Oh, is that what you showed me the picture
Yeah,
of? Oh
yeah.
my god, that was unreal.
Yeah, and so he just messaged me. And he's like, "I'm back here again today."
Is
dude.
it?
I
I'll
can't-
bet.
He's like, "I can't get enough."
Did he get the platter for 2 again? the
They
platter
were-
for 12?
They were originally going to bring us the platter for 3, and I can't imagine what that would have looked like. Because the
It was
platter for
enormous.
2 was, you know, a tire, like literally the size of a car
After this
tire.
hand, you got to show the camera here.
There could be somebody in there, but there's not that much liquidity yet.
In the meantime, looks like, is that a limp from under the gun?
Dom 524, DOM 524. All right, look him up, guys.
We're
Let's
gonna
confirm.
verify that.
Let's
It will
confirm
be
for
there.
Dom here.
There's a lot of platforms being opened up.
So
in the next few years
Jari
that are
does
gonna
limp from under the
allow
gun,
people to
and
be
he
able to
ends up
watch
getting
it in
raised
real
from the
time
button by
and be able
Tom.
to
A
bet
call
it
out of the
in
big
real time.
blind by
And,
Margie,
like,
and
the
he comes
platforms are
along
just
with his
specifically
jacks,
meant just for this.
bad jacks. He's just set mining, and he does not make it. It is
There's esports
Margie with
fantasy
the
now.
equity advantage on the flop, but
That's the natural
Canuli with the best hand
progression.
still with those kings.
So it's going to become a huge thing.
Bet 180.
It's amazing the numbers involved in just watching it. So you got to think about it.
It's interesting with Margie's hand here. He's thinking, just give me any middle card. Any
Right.
middle of the board card, and we can continue here to the river.
There's guys that can.
Yep, backdoor clubs are good for him as well. Instead, it's
Yeah.
the jack.
And that should slow down Margie real quick.
Yep, and the jack's folded out, so did not get a chance to make the set.
Check.
And yeah, pretty much paint was the only thing Margie didn't want to see here.
Ferb Quad 8, what's up in the chat there? Good to see you. I'll tell you what, one last time, exclamation point giveaway in the chat. I'm going to pull one of the names right after this hand.
The turn goes check, and Canuli didn't need it, but he finds himself another set of kings.
Because then you're a winner or a loser. You're a current winner. Yeah.
Bet 450.
Value bet here from Tom. Obviously not going to get called by the absolutely nothing in Margie's hand. Seems really hard to be left with 8 high after the river in a 4-card poker game, but indeed that is what has happened here. Tom going to scoop another one.
People say
all right, Scott, give me a random number between 1 and 95.
When I met
63.
Done.
And those guys,
Let me find our winner.
like, we've been around forever when they first came out, and think about how long they've been out for. I was like in my 20s, just a young guy.
I'll take one too.
Still counting, guys.